Subaru is the largest corporate donor to the
Right, we back in the building. We back in the building. 200 Boys Podcast.
Yes, sir. We here.
How we doing, Opino?
Good, man. We're gonna introduce the guest. We done with the news, right?
We done with the news.
So let's introduce the guest. Khoolaid, the legendary Khoolaid, coming with the
guys?
energy. Hell yeah! Appreciate
Khoolaid.
you for coming through. It was long overdue.
Yeah, it was
For sure.
And I just wanted to say because last time we met with each other was at the King Lil G Mansion party.
Yep, the infamous Halloween party.
And you kept your word. I was a little fucked up. Oh, excuse me. I was a little drunk.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You gotta bleep it out.
Yeah. I was a little drunk. And I'm like, yo, Khoolaid, come to the podcast. And you were like, man, it's got to be on some positivity. You guys are the
that was when I
HaterWorld.
was first coming out.
Yeah, come on, because I know you've seen our stuff, and you were probably like, man, them dudes.
Well, I saw all y'all acting wild in the streets, and I'm like, what are they all doing? I had to really digest it and learn everybody and see the situation.
I didn't think she was coming.
You thought I was gonna flake?
We
Yeah,
did. No, we didn't. I did too. I was like, man, she ain't gonna come.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some friends that were like, why? And
of course.
were worried about me coming in, but it's like, why? Because you guys represent and love and have a passion for the culture, and I can stand on all 10 of mine, and I've got certain feelings that I have about what you guys do with the negativity, but then I have certain feelings I have about how far and how much noise you guys make for the movement. So I feel like you guys are an important part of it.
But Demisa's voice was saying yes, right?
Oh, Demisa since day one. Was always like, that's one of my favorite ones.
That's the only one that counts, though.
Demisa he was going to actually come with me. And then he's like, no, I want you to roll in solo. I want everybody to know that you are the neutral party out here. You're the bridge.
Picture with Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
I mean,
on the jet.
Yeah. He's got some Mariah stories.
Moses, you got any pictures with? Oh, you're on High Times.
Yeah, but not with Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I know I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's dope that you came through and slid through. You know.
I'm excited to be here with you
Yeah,
guys.
for the people that don't know, like our fans and stuff, I know you've done you've been on an interview run and doing your stuff. And, to give them a little bit about
so
who Khoolaid
weird.
is.
That part is so weird. Like the who Khoolaid is part, like the talking about
so
yourself
deep,
part.
right?
But
So deep.
yeah, it's like the talking about like your life story in a little nutshell.
The life
But
of.
I was a radio personality here in Los Angeles who rode hard for the West Coast, rode hard for the Chicano movement, created a show because radio was not playing the music that I saw was cracking in the streets, and that show ended up elevating me to a whole nother level in that community and the way that community embraced me. And I give my whole career and heart to that community, and now being back after being MIA for 16 years and that same community being so welcoming and putting me back on the map so quick. It's like that's how that's how the Mexican culture does. Period, to their people.
Raza.
You planted enough good seeds to where
That part is crazy.
That's the harvest.
you
You
guys.
know, it's true, man. Because I always tell people, like, if you're good to when you're doing something at a certain point, especially if you're good to the young crowd and that crowd, they're gonna take care of you later on. If you're mean to the young crowd when you get older, they're not gonna want to take care of you.
I had no idea though that what you guys were doing out here and how hard it was going and what was happening with the scene. Like, I had no clue when I was on my hiatus. It was like my 16-year-old son had to show me.
It's a whole new movement.
Yeah. And then he started, but it really isn't. It's the movement that you guys like, that we originally stood on in the beginning, that we had to fight for. It's just pop culture now, and it's just everywhere, and it's just the thing to do. Where before it was more of a niche, now it's the future.
Now it's booming.
Yeah. And to come out and see that, like, I didn't expect to be here.
It's like, I feel like it's like the caveman thing. Like, it started with the caveman, and then next thing you know, it evolved. They dress different. They, instead of going ooga booga, they say full sentences. Like, it's like a evolution.
Well, and
you know what I mean? Like
it's what it was when I was that 13, 14-year-old girl growing up, listening to DJ Quick and NWA and wanting to emulate what they were doing and be just like that. It's now that for the Mexican American story and this in hip hop in particular, the street struggle, and just to see like these kids and what they're doing with the style, with a lot of our OG Chicano imaging and how they're redressing it.
Yeah.
And, I know some people will be like, oh, they're doing that, but I love it. Like, I love the fact that we were able to influence, and we're able to influence so many, to be part of something beautiful.
Yeah, it's dope. I give them that. They're doing their thing. I feel like if they're gonna do it, sometimes though, just do it to the best that you can.
Do it right.
Do it right. Don't half.
But who are we to decide what's like? At the end of the day, I've learned this because it's like I've heard for years, different eras. I've heard for years, and this has always been the same thing, where it's like, oh, they've got no lyrical skill. They got no this. They got no that. There's always a judge of something. But at the end of the day, do you and authentically what feels you, and you're going to win. If you out there trying to fabricate some
Never gonna work.
right. It is what it is.
Like,
be
if you're gonna be
authentically
Jordan,
you.
if you're gonna be Jordan, do it like Kobe did at least. Do it half
Fake the
right.
funk.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't be Russell.
Don't have ass.
I'm just a
don't have
believer in
ass.
being authentic to what you're passionate about and what you love, and then do you and don't care what the rest of the world says. Just keep doing you.
Now, were you born in Los Angeles?
I was born in Alamogordo, New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Papa, we've had this conversation, you and I, because both of our parents were military.
That's right. Okay. So you
Papa, both of our dads were smart guys. So yeah, I moved around a lot, and Demiza says that it's all was inspired. Now he's came to the conclusion it was all inspired by my time in Lompoc. So
okay. That's
which was only a couple years.
What part of the military was your dad in?
My dad was Air Force.
Air
and he was an
Force,
engineer, super smart, and
Did he fly jets?
He did in the beginning, and then he stopped flying, and he was working on the space shuttle and building the space shuttle. And
okay.
so when you say,
Did he ever
Born
tell you
things.
if it's round or flat?
He probably did, but my ADHD, I didn't listen.
If you know somebody up there,
I was too busy trying to.
He would know. He would really know.
Oh, when he would help me with my math homework, forget it. I would be so frustrated. That was a smart man.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I moved around because of the military, and then I moved to Los Angeles in 6th grade, and that was where I was raised and my influence.
What part of LA?
The Valle 818, baby, till I die. Till I die.
That's right.
Oh, you're right. Let's go. Yeah, till I die. I cannot get out of the valley.
That's American Cholo's op right there.
Yeah. Oh, it is? Okay.
They used to beat each other up when they were little.
She don't hear it. She don't hear it.
They used to shoot at each other. No, for real.
I know, and I'm pretending that I don't hear you.
Shout out American Cholo.
Shout out American Cholo.
That's my boy. What's up, Gil?
What's the record? 5-5. You guys are even. 5-5.
We're even. We're straight.
Right,
he wins. I'll let him have it.
Yeah. I love that. I love the growth.
They're grown up now.
Yeah, they are doing things.
Well, we're two neighborhoods that really hated each other, so we'll keep it at that. But we're adults.
Yeah,
so that's what it is.
That's right. Yeah.
That's dope. That's great.
I wish that I feel like these youngsters are seeing that earlier because there was a lot of division, and that's what really hurt our movement
back then.
Yeah. Like was the amount of vocal division and everybody pulling each other down.
Yeah.
Where now I feel like these youngsters get that part of it, and they're trying to move a little more in unison, and I think that's what's creating the power.
Yeah, they do move a little bit more, like with a little bit more unity, I would say.
Yeah.
Friendly. They don't care about they do care about the gang aspect, but not as much as it was before.
Well, but even the hoods, which is dope, which I loved coming. One of the first things aside from it was G's. What's G's thing first? But then one of the other things I went to where it was like an awakening for me was Rowdy Rack's birthday in San Bernardino on the rooftop.
Yeah.
How was that?
And it was crazy because. So when I was telling you guys, when my son started playing, he started, of course, because Lefty was viral at the time. So he was showing me Lefty, and it was like artists that sound like Lefty. And then when I heard Rowdy, I was like, this kid is everything. Like absolutely fell in love with Rowdy Racks.
Yeah, with his shit.
And so I just got on and started Rowdy Racks banging. Like, this is Rowdy Racks, this is my guy. And then I saw he had his birthday, and that was one of the first things I decided I was going to pop up at. And Rowdy was, I guess, one of the OG homies from the hood was like, that's crazy. Like, that's dope that Khoolaid's going to pop up. And they took great care of me. But when I showed up, it was a trip because the Brothers and the Essays were all together, and the Bloods and the Crips, and like I walked into it and I was like, different from my era.
His manager is black.
Big Business is the big homie. I love my Big Business. That's the big homie. So he took good care of me that night, and I was renamed Khoolaid by Big Business that night.
Shout out Big Business.
That's cool.
So, but seeing the unity with everybody, that was a real eye opener.
That wouldn't happen back in the day.
No, never.
I would be chatting on American Cholo, F his hood, or something like that. You know what I mean? So that shows a lot of change in it. So it's good.
Yeah, that part of it was
we want the money.
It felt like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory to me. I'm like,
Mr. Little One had a black security guard back in the day. You know Mr. Little One?
Yeah, of course.
And it was drama over that. Now imagine having a manager that was black back then. And it's not because of the color, but it's because of the gangs.
Right. Well, it was also, there was the division in the color, but I think because of the fact that there's so many, we have so many Blaxicans now, and so many Jew Mexicans, and so many, everybody's so mixed up that it's like, I mean, it's truly that old school 92.3 The Beat, no color lines, which I love that part because that's what I'm all about. That's what I wanted to see happen. I didn't want to start a radio show that people would consider, we're being pigeonholed. No, you're not being played because you look different than everything else on the radio, and the programmers are saying that's not what people are going to listen to, and I'm having to fight that, and that was the only way in for us. So it's like to see that everything's kind of won now, but I'm still riding for that Mexican voice hard.
I think like it's just different now because like a lot more homies or hoods, they'll look past where they're from and get a bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But hold on.
I'll tell you what it is.
But there's still some neighborhoods that won't do it with each other.
Youngsters don't take gangbanging serious. the way they did back in the 90s and the 2000s. Back then, gang banging came first. And rap came second. Now these youngsters, some of them don't even follow protocol. And so they do whatever they want.
But same thing. They'll go for a bag. Is what I'm saying.
Then in fairness, it's like also, it's like
is that the
you're pushing your hood further by growing. Like you're so it's like to see that aspect of it. I don't think that it's putting the music over your hood or putting anything over your hood. I think it's the fact of growth. Like what is it? It's like it's hood business. Like you want your hood to grow like any other business.
Yeah.
So represent it with class.
I don't think it's right putting the I don't think it's right when you're in the business of trying to make music. You're trying to make music, not gangbang, right? But
but you're also telling your stories because it's a fine. Because it's a fine line. Like I grew up wanting to hear those stories because I wasn't. I wanted to know. I wanted to know what was going on in the streets. I wasn't a part of that, and so it's like there's a lot of us that watch it from the outside, and I
kind of feel like back in the day, more neighborhoods, and I'm just speaking as a fan looking in, were more like you said, serious about gangbanging. So like if they wanted to do a feature with the rival hood, they would say no because I'm serious about this. Now it's a little more laid back. Now I'll do what is a bag there is 15,000, okay.
Plus the politics changed a lot.
We can make that happen. You know what I mean? And just kind of you come, I come, you bring one friend, I bring one. We could bring our managers, and we don't even have to be in the studio. But if it's gonna make $20K, like we could get together and do it.
All I know, the one thing since day one that I appreciate from the streets and that I will put out there is the fact that no matter where I was at in my career, everybody knew that I sat neutral and why I was doing it. And if I ever had a problem, everybody came together and made sure I was cool. And I always knew I was okay. I always saw there were certain guys around, and I knew I would be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Stepping to the plate to do certain things and to push it.
So growing up in San Fernando Valley, you went to school, high school, I'm sure.
Northridge.
Yeah,
Earthquakeville.
Okay.
But now we're Porter Ranch. Is that the
nice area, Moses?
Now we're Porter Ranch.
Yes,
it's nice. But it was cool because I was close enough to, like Packtown and Arleta to get in trouble to go find the
cops
homies.
will be at your place a lot quicker than ours.
I was close enough to go get into trouble.
So you're not Mexican,
No, I'm Jewish. Yo soy judía, but mi corazón es Chicano.
Hell yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So you grew up in a
the Miklo.
Straight up.
Was it predominantly Mexican at the time when you were in Northridge?
No. Like growing up in Colorado, because I was in Colorado.
In Northridge, or we're in San Fernando Valley. No, it's mixed.
Puro judías all around me. Like, at that time, mainly a Chinese Jewish community. But now, puro Mexicano. Now Mexican neighbors.
But when you were growing up there, it was Jewish and Chinese, and now it's Mexicanos everywhere.
They own the property.
Because when I think of San Fernando Valley, I think Mexican to the fullest.
Well, because you think of different,
those places.
The inside of it.
That's the inside. So Northridge is. I'm not familiar with it. So Northridge is outside or something.
The outside of the valley is more wealthy,
like the suburbs or something. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't want to put a class on the race on them, but
Yeah,
it's nicer.
Got to keep it real. Got to keep it real.
No, I was lucky. I came from a hardworking military family. My parents provided for me, and you can
loving family.
You can be mad because I had a silver spoon in my mouth, but I had a silver spoon in my mouth. I had the greatest parents ever. I had such. Can you imagine how they felt about their daughter going out there being all puro Chicano rap and DJ Quick and.
How did they take it?
Actually, really well. My mom was very supportive. Some of my aunts in the beginning were like, "What are you doing?" But then once I made a career out of it, it's like, I knew you could do it.
Of course.
But they were super supportive. I mean, there were times where they had to step to the plate and help me because it got crazy, and they had to put me.
Did you get the hate part of it though, of you just being Jewish?
For the hate part, there's always been, and it cracks me up because there still is people who are like, oh, whatever, you're white. It's like, no shit, I'm white. It is what it is. I am. It is
showing support.
Find something else to ride on. So I had gotten that, especially earlier on, and originally when we had started the show, I was trying to figure out, when I had dumped all those CDs on my boss Jimmy Steele at the time, I dumped them on his couch. And when he gave me the go to do the show, we really were trying to think of, I wanted somebody Latino to host the show when he gave me the go to. And I was trying to think, okay, who can I have host this show? And my partner and I were going over it at the time. And, there was a lot of Latino DJs before me. And I was like, am I tripping doing this radio show? Because why didn't any of these guys that I looked up to that were Latino do a show like this?
Well, they couldn't.
Well, they what?
They couldn't.
They weren't allowed?
Homies hate on homies.
Yes.
All day, every day, so it wouldn't have been possible. So a neutral party fits in perfect.
Yeah, well, it worked out that way. So originally, I felt like we needed somebody Latino to host the show, me personally. And then my partner at the time was like, hey, the music, you're the midday personality here in Los Angeles, you're a radio personality, you'll carry the show, you got love for a lot of these artists right now, so it's like, why don't you host it? And yes, because of that was probably one of the best things. And I didn't realize it that young that could have happened, was the, Jewish girl going up to bat in all these radio stations to get this radio show played, in San Antonio or wherever, whether I was sitting with a Mexican programmer, if I'm sitting with them like JD Gonzalez, in Texas, if I'm sitting with a Mexican programmer and they're like, dang, this young Jewish girl is like on this, am I sleeping on my own people or movement? And then they would take a risk quicker on it. And it felt safer to other people too that weren't Latino for me to pitch it to them. And because we did all that on our own. We self-syndicated that show and our reggaeton show that we were a big part of bringing reggaeton here with my brother DJ Casanova off the island of Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
So
that show was great. When did that show air? Like, before that,
let's follow the timeline.
But before that, let me just ask one question. What's a good Jewish meal that I need to try?
Matzo ball soup.
I always want to know because I'm an eater. I'm a food eater.
My boy Brian, he's director of A&R at Warner. We just took Ocho for matzo ball soup.
For real?
Yeah, I'm gonna take you for a pastrami sandwich and matzo ball soup.
Meatballs or something.
No, it's kind of like a bread. I'm gonna take you and we're gonna go vlog it. Yeah,
we'll vlog it.
Vlog whatever you guys.
Soup?
Matzo ball soup.
Man.
That's an OG staple, and then we'll get you a Reuben.
A Reuben?
Yeah.
I've had a Reuben before.
Have you had a Reuben?
That's us. That's like one of our staples. Yeah, with the sauerkraut on it.
That's real
good.
Yeah.
Damn.
We bang hard, baby. We bang hard with the Reubens.
I always ask because different cultures, like whoever the guest is, I love food. So
hell yeah.
That's just dope.
Are you kidding? Me too.
Yeah. So let's get the timeline. So obviously we'll get past high school. I'm sure you went to high school. And
I went to high school in the Valley. I knew in junior high school that I wanted to not only be a DJ but be a DJ on Power 106. Had all the DJs' pictures on my locker.
Oh, so you were like
for the
that's crazy, right? Because if you think about like Power 106, if you think about a radio station, you're talking about 4 jobs on air. You're talking about 4 spots. So like it's harder than if you want to be in the NBA or you want to, you've got more of a shot.
But for those kids that don't know what the radio was,
I know.
Explain a little bit how big
radio was different. Radio was
for Cali.
So radio period was huge. How we got all of our information, anything cool from music. We couldn't get it off, we didn't have the phones like that. We didn't calling into the DJs was the only way like we could get clout with our homies, and that was our podcasting. That's how we shouted out our homies, was if you could get on the radio with a DJ. That's where we got all of our urban street news, was from the radio DJs, and radio was everything. Radio was the phone. Yeah, radio was the phone.
Yes.
Yeah, that was everything. That was the TV.
Access to music, yeah.
The TV, the phone, it was the what we call the internet. It was everything by word of mouth was the radio.
Yeah.
That's the only way you could get anything played or any type of promotion. unless you were like Tupac and you spit at the camera or shot at some cops.
Yeah, right.
That was Tupac.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you had to do some off-wild.
Or if the news was burning your CDs because you were too gangster, you know, like that was the only way you'd see like the hip. Otherwise, you had to go to Warehouse Music and dig through stuff yourself and listen to the CDs yourself and be like, dang. And
Power 106 was number 1 and 92.3 was number 2.
It's kind of went up and down because like at one point the 92.3 the beat No Color Lines like was running the streets.
That was doing it.
Like
so they're the ones who quoted that the No
Color Lines was the beat. And that was like
because I remember that.
Yeah, that was like the Julio G era. That was like Diana Steele. The House Party was like every John Lennon was a white dude repping the urban radio station hard, killing it.
So which one was the Lakers and which one was the Clippers?
It was different times. Like at one point, the Lakers were definitely
Power was pretty high.
But it was different. But it was different eras. Like it was different times. It was different movements.
I think Power 106 was the alpha, in my opinion.
Yeah, Power 106. Oh yeah, for sure.
Was the big dog. Yeah. Like all around more. Like if you went
Power
to if you
changed because when I wanted to be I wanted to be on the radio, I worked at both stations. I even worked at Kiss FM. I even worked one of my first gigs in radio was doing call-ins for Rick Dees and LNK. So like at the pop station. So which was a trip. Because Return of the Mac was as gangster records as I got when I was over there.
Yeah, that's a good record. I like that song.
Yeah, whenever Return of the Mac played and I was driving the van, I would get all hype. But Power 106, you know, was like I would be late, you know, to school, like listening to the Baker Boys just starting to break the hip hop in the morning, and you know, it was all the mix shows, the wake up shows, and you know, the Baker Boys with the mix shows. It was all the mix shows at that point that were getting in the stuff we liked on the weekends.
Why on the knob it was 105.9?
Because that's the frequency that it lies on.
Yeah,
so they
said, if you round it up, it's 106.
Yeah,
they just that's what
so 106. Yeah. Power 106. Power 105.9.
It don't sound good.
It doesn't sound like Power 106.
Yeah, but that's true. Yeah,
but if you say 105.9,
that's
105.9,
all marketing.
Tito, 105.9.
But like I remember, like in the '90s, we go to the Bay Area, and like you know, people would be like, "Oh, you from LA?" Or well, you know, we're from the area. We'd be like, "Yeah, that area, yeah, Power 106." That's what they would say.
Right.
That's what they would remember.
That's how cool radio was.
Yeah, like that's what they would know. Like, oh, that's your station out there.
If you lived in New York, or if you visited New York, everybody knew it was Hot 97. Radio truly was the voice of the streets and pop culture. Well, it became that, and that you know, Demiza was a big part of that of really pushing hip hop through on the radio and making radio cool and cutting edge.
Do you know Preston?
It's crazy.
Preston? Yeah. You're talking about Preston and sales? I love Preston.
Yeah, that's my boy. He's the one who helps me get he's helped me put people on the radio.
Actually, Preston was one of my big money makers in the club scene.
Yeah.
Preston and I used to run the clubs back in the day. Okay. He was one of the sales reps. And that's things that people don't know. It's like there's so many other opportunities within entertainment that like you need to explore and know about. The salespeople at Power 106 were making more money than anybody. So,
they're important pieces to these places.
To the puzzle, Yeah.
So when did you get on the actual show or on the radio?
No, how did it become an idea?
Okay,
that's what I want to know.
This is a crazy part. You know, and I'm learning this as I get older, that energy, and when I have like a vision or I think of something, how important it is to really believe in that and write it down. I literally had a dream that I was doing a radio show on Power 106 that was playing the music, and I woke up, you know, I told my partner that at that time I was like, yo, I'm gonna go in to Jimmy and I'm gonna pitch this show. I had this dream about this, that, and the other. And because all my other radio stations, when I was at my radio station in Oxnard that I was at before Power, it was the same thing. It was like I was getting requests for Shadow and Little Rob, and I've told this story, but I think it's an important story to tell because it was a big part of what made me fight for it. I had a program director at that station in Oxnard who put a picture of a Mexican girl right on the board and said, that's who you're talking to whenever you open the mic. You're talking to that girl. Oh. That felt wrong to me. It felt like weird. And then I'm getting calls for like Shadow, Spanish Fly. I see what's going on in the streets. 805, as you know, was a big hotbed for the Chicano rap scene.
Yeah.
And I see everybody selling, these youngsters selling their albums to Murray Brumfield, for he's got G's in his pocket. I mean, at the time, it seemed like nothing. It's like, and I don't even hate on that part of the story because it's like, it gave
the Familia records.
It gave people an opportunity to create and do what they wanted to do. It's up to you to learn your business and figure it all out. But me seeing it, I figured it out. Me seeing that the homies, that this guy they'd meet on the corner would pull 5 G's, 10 G's out of his sock and give it to them for a record. I'm like, okay, somebody's making money out here because back then that was a lot as kids watching that money, that money turn and making $12 an hour on the radio station in Oxnard and watching this money turn.
So for those that don't know, what you're saying was people were selling their album to Murray Brumfield.
Right.
He was one of them.
Stamping his logo on it, and then he was selling it.
And he'd work hard. He'd go out. He was constantly. He had his big van. You can't be mad because he really pushed the movement. And that was part of it in the beginning of when I went to pitch the show. Actually, one of my first calls was to Murray that, hey, can you get me every CD you've ever made? And that was what I went and dumped on my boss's couch to say that this is a movement out there. And it's like, we're targeting Latinos. How do they not have a voice on our radio station? And he was like, cool, like put together a show, how it would sound for me.
How late at night did you have to start it?
Well, that was the thing. But who knew at that point? So the only thing he did tell me is that I'd like you to not call it Chicano rap. I'd like you to say Latin hip hop. And at the time, Chicano rap was already coined. And really, when I was going in on riding on Spanish Fly, Mr. Shadow, Lil Rob. I was going in like on Chicano rap. Like this was what I loved.
Or you were already listening to it?
Yes.
Before you even got on the radio?
Before I started the show, because I was watching Cali Lifestyle. I was watching Down and the Cowboys making all their records, and I was watching the Hoods make their records.
That's their symbol of
right. And I was hearing their stories, and I was like intrigued by it, and I loved it. And I knew that every radio station I went to, my fan base was when I went to the Up in Smoke tour, I can remember looking around that whole stadium, and my boy Duno said it, which there's truth to the fact that every concert I went to, no matter what nationality the artist was, it was straight Mexicans paying for the tickets.
Yes. Yes.
And so I knew, right, and I knew personally,
but you're not Mexican, fool.
Yes, I am. I'm not Armenian.
And I knew that it was important that these artists had a voice. It's like, I can't be the only one liking this. I know I'm not. The programmers would tell me it's their cousins calling in, requesting the songs, and at my station in Oxnard, and I'm like, no.
They would try to tell you that?
Oh, they would tell me that. And then when I got to LA, and I got those same calls, requests for Mr. Shadow and Little Rob. And
at that time, what was hot on the radio? What, Snoop Dogg, Dre, what was popping at that time?
Well, in the Oxnard era, that era was more like Jay-Z, Timbaland, and Magoo. That was that era. When the West Coast really started popping was when I was at Power 106 with DeMizza, because DeMizza would ride so hard for the West Coast, and we would ride so hard because that's been my other passion.
What
is
years
the West
were those
Coast.
when you went to Power?
Oh man, now you're asking me timelines.
93.
So
no.
4.
No,
I don't know.
Damn it! I graduated high school in '94. I know I'm old as dirt, but damn. No, I'm kidding. No, I graduated in '94. 2000s, early 2000s.
90s.
Yeah,
99.
late '90s was where my radio career started. Over there.
We went to Oxnard first, though.
I started out in Oxnard at Q1047.
Okay, they're still around.
I rocked nights there. And shouts out to my boy Mambo and Big Bear, and everybody's still over there killing it in the area. And then I lost that job because we dedicated How I Could Just Kill a Man to the program director, which didn't go over well.
Oh, Cypress Hill?
Yeah. So that didn't go over well. That was my first learning experience.
That song still did good.
Yeah.
It's still
it's a great great song. So we dedicated it to him during the mix, and he didn't like that. And so we had to figure it out.
That's you dedicated it to him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shouts out to my partner, Jeff, your Guamanian soul brother.
That's some shit I would do, too.
It was me and my little Guamanian homie. We would run the streets together, just being young. And learning life. And so we drove to Fresno, because at the time, there was a station launched by Greg McAttack. And I don't know if you guys know McAttack from K-Day, but he was he was the original programmer at K-Day, one of the original programmers over there, and part of, the original. Yeah, he was well respected in radio. So he had a radio station in Fresno. And I remember this big radio consultant, Michael Newman, told me, as long as your paycheck doesn't bounce, you'll be cool. It was my first time moving out of Los Angeles, moving out of the house, because Oxnard I was able to commute. That's a 45-minute hop for us from the valley.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you had little girlfriends. I'm sure you had little girlfriends in Oxnard, or Camarillo. Did you have a Camarillo girl?
No, what if he has boyfriends?
See, look, he thinks
what if he has boyfriends?
They made you hard, fool, huh?
Girlfriends.
He was at the...
You never know.
Yeah, right.
What's it called? Those Camarillo outlets.
Yeah,
those are nice.
Banging. So that job, there was, the week we went out there was a drug bust for the owners.
Oh,
damn.
And my first paycheck bounced. And then that next week, all of a sudden, I'm sitting in the lobby, and this guy comes in, and it's Art LeBeau. And he bought the radio station. So we went from being
there, in Bakersfield, okay.
So in Fresno.
Excuse me.
So Kerman, actually, to be exact. And so we went from being this hardcore hip hop station to playing like Busta Rhymes, and then a thin line between love and hate. And I'm like, as a kid, like, didn't understand it. Yeah. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I didn't even understand it. And so I luckily got to work for both Art LeBeau and Greg Mack at one time.
Nice.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, that's my boy. I love Art.
Yeah, he was big.
So then from there you went to Los Angeles, Power 106, about 98, 99 probably.
So 2000, yeah.
And then you started the show.
And like I said, the show was just a vision. And he said, so the boss said, cool, just do me a favor, call it Latin hip hop so you can keep it open for yourself. Like if there's any other Latinos music you want to play that isn't being played. And that was the best advice he could have gave me, because that was the channel to bring in the Tagos, and then who I would have, and to merge the bridge of all the Texas artists with the Cali artists, which was a big, huge part of our movement. And syndicating the show was when we were able to merge those bridges of everybody. And then, the New York stuff and the Joel Ortizes, and it opened the doors for everybody. So it opened the world up to, I was able to take Night Owl, since he wouldn't fly, in a car to do a show when Daddy I'm in Love with a Gangster was this huge hit record all through Texas. I was able to bring him to do radio shows.
You can't say that word around here. It's all right, I can bleep it. Yeah. Let me ask you something. I heard Murray Brimfield had a lot to do with the show. Am I wrong? I'll tell you what I heard.
Okay.
And you let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I heard that he had pitched the show to Power 106, and he had put you on as a DJ.
No.
For the show.
No. I was already a DJ on Power 106. Like I said, I did go to Murray and get a box of CDs of everything he was doing. And I had a lot of respect for Murray, because his label was big at that time. I knew what he was doing. I saw what he was doing with these artists, and I wanted to create the platform for the music that he was making. But no, it was just my partner and I, and the staff at Power 106 that supported me at that time to put it on, which was Jimmy Steele and Demiza and E-Man.
Okay.
That greenlit the midnight show, like you said. Yes. And so all we had at the time to promote the show, literally went to Kinko's and made flyers. And I went to the swap meet.
Black and white?
And passed out. They were black, but they were on colored paper. I can't remember what colored paper, but we had them on colored paper, and literally went to the swap meet, pounded them out at the swap meet. And I can remember that first show at midnight thinking, am I tripping? All these Latino DJs before me. This was my dream job, you guys, like since a kid. I'm like, am I putting my credibility on the line by playing this music? How come nobody else has? I can remember what was going through my head that first show, right when the show started. Phone lines just boom, lit up like a Christmas tree. Literally a girl calling in was one of my first calls, crying because I was playing Little Rob on the radio.
Here's the good question. What was the first record you played?
I want to say
ever on that show.
That's a great question. My partner would know because he's got every single show from day one. He was very organized and super smart when it came to tech.
Oh, wow.
So we have every single show is there from show one
audio tapes.
on. Yeah, on in discs.
Can I get them audio
CDs and
Spotify and Apple Music.
Yeah. So they're all still there, every single episode. Yeah. But I remember one of the first calls being, I think one of the first songs was Little Rob. But I know that one of them had to be 18 with a Bullet. Like
Spanish
one of the first couple, one of the first couple songs. We literally, so what we had to do was take those CDs, because you got to remember nobody had singles at the time.
Yeah.
So they don't have record labels working for them. So I knew what artists were being requested, but we literally had to take the CDs and go through the songs. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what could work on the radio? What could potentially break out as a radio song? And sitting there choosing basically a single for every artist and then cleaning them up.
Did you have to get the okay from somebody on a higher level?
From the artists?
No, not from the artist, but from like an executive at the.
No, because I wasn't telling them, oh, this movement isn't organized and there's no singles, there's no nothing. We went. No, you mean as far as what we played?
Approval,
did we have to get approval? No.
So whatever you wanted on the radio was going to be
whatever we played or decided to play on the radio was what was played on the radio, and how we decided what was played on the radio was based on what the streets wanted.
Right.
For the most part.
Nobody
there were some
to pay off.
No, I never, ever took money to pay for
That's
play.
illegal.
Yeah, it's payola.
Right.
And I always, I was
the miss about it.
Yeah, I always prided in the fact. But there were people that did it. There were people that did stuff like that. But I never did. I never had to. I made so much money in the clubs. I made so much money at the time on the radio. Shoot, I had my Cal Worthington endorsement. I would sit on Cal Worthington's lap and do my commercials.
Is that the car guy?
Yeah. I was having so much fun. We were wilding out. It definitely wasn't the people or the artists that I was making my bank on.
So how would you keep your ear to the street then? How would you know what was sounding good or what people like?
Being in the streets, it's crazy because like that still trips me out to this day that I'm 48 and it's not hard. I don't know why more people
know about the party scene.
I don't know why I did, but I always listened to the streets. I always was pretty hood active.
Okay.
Like I really liked the underdog voice. Just was always something. I had like my project Khoolaid, and I'd always bring like Christmas or whatever, computers, whatever was hot at the time, Xboxes, into the projects and like fill up all the projects with them, because that was the real voices. That was the authentic voices of really what was going down in communities, and it was just always a passion of mine.
Yeah.
And so of course musically it was too.
You did a lot of like mainstream on there, or guys that were popping, but I can't really remember. I just
because I was a midday DJ too, right after Big Boy. So I came on 10 to 3 also.
But on the show though, you put like a lot of artists that weren't mainstream too. I remember hearing like
there is no Chicano rappers that are mainstream.
No, well, to me,
right.
Well, I don't mean like that, but I'm saying like
you would say,
here's just what I'm saying.
We could say Baby Bash is probably one of the biggest artists, right? But Baby Bash wasn't. When we first started the radio show, Baby Bash didn't necessarily even have gas money to get out, and everybody was struggling. Like we all struggled together.
But there was ones that were kind of like Little Rob was good.
No. I mean, he was a street legend. But nobody had anything. They were street Rob, Shadow, Spanish Fly. They were street legends. And then once I learned from Violet Brown, like who was at the Warehouse, who was a huge contributor to our movement and does not get enough flowers.
Well, she's hated. She's hated by a lot of people.
Okay, well, you know what? There's no reason for that, because that was an outside woman who saw the power of the movement.
Well, what about Lyra Brown?
And who saw the power of the movement, and she was putting where radio wasn't embracing them, no other media was embracing them, she was bringing those records in. That was the only way people could access those records on a mainstream level out of the swap meets, and Violet Brown did that.
Talking about, she was part of the Warehouse Music, right?
Yeah, she was the buyer for Warehouse. Yeah. And she supported, I don't care what anybody says, I'll stand on that with my 10 toes. She was such a supporter of the movement when she didn't need to be. She was a supporter of West Coast hip hop. She was a supporter of Tech Nine. She's always been a supporter of the streets, and she supported and she took Chicano rap to a whole nother level for us.
We'll get to the whole Warehouse thing right now.
Okay.
What were you saying?
No, I was just saying who was other artists that No, I mean you played everybody Slow Pain. I remember on the show.
Hell yeah, but like you said, Lighter Shade of Brown probably would have been the biggest
one. The one that already had concerts under his belt. Yeah. He already had he was already on the radio.
Frost. And Frost. But that was pre. That was way pre the show.
Yeah, that was
that's what I'm saying.
Early 90s.
That's what I grew up listening to. I grew up being a teenager, going and watching Kid Frost at Magic Mountain and being like, "What is it? This is for who? Like what is
Magic Mountain?
this?"
That's pretty dope.
But like Mr. Shadow, the ones that you were talking about.
But that's what I'm saying. You played played the underground of the street, the voices of the street. Because Kid Frost, Lighter Shade of Brown, there's other ones too. Mellow Man those guys were already having hit records.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing the streets, like the underground.
Yeah.
And I never would have known who Slow Pain was or the G Fellas. I remember when you would drop those records, we'd be on a midnight run chilling. I'll be in the low riders with my primos.
Well, that's where the disconnect was, and the problem was the fact that to you, which as it should be, Mr. Shadow, Little Rob, Spanish Fly, they were stars. But radio wasn't playing them. You guys were consuming that yourself, finding that yourself.
Well, we thought that was radio.
You thought that was on the radio. Well, no, but I'm saying prior, to the show, when the show launched, it seemed like, they're finally playing my music.
Yeah,
they're finally playing
buy it from the swap meet.
Right, but these dudes were all struggling. They didn't even know the power of their sound scans or what was going on or what they were selling.
Did they have sound scan back then?
They did. They did. The Spanish Fly project that
was at the Warehouse Music.
A few pairs of leave when Violet showed me the sound scan on Spanish Fly.
It was up there.
Said, no, these kids are the future. Yes, these kids are the future. You're doing such. She called me on the hotline, and that was the first industry person who told me you're doing something special. I got you in whatever way I can have you.
Did you have a lot of Chicano rappers contact you trying to get on the radio?
Yes. How
was that?
Yeah, that was, and that's
having to say no.
Well, even now too, just discovering and figuring out the new stuff from what the people want or what the people are feeling, and that part of it balanced with it. I'm not going to sit here and act like there was never somebody that I thought, you know what, they're dope. I'm going to ride for them because I like this artist or this group. Of course, as humans, we find people or things we like that we're feeling that we might ride on that might not be as big as something
popular.
else.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
But, and you'd be a liar if you acted like you didn't. But there were certain artists where it's it was a little, being a B-girl and being how hip-hop influenced I was, that it was but then the streets would say, this is what we want. It's okay, cool. And so there's certain people that I ended up developing great relationships with that didn't stop and didn't sit there and depend on, us to build their career and realize their career was in their own hands. I mean, we were one platform. We were one platform.
The only one.
Right, at the time. Yes, but it's and then some people go create your own platform. Go create a platform. Go figure it out just like I did. I was just a kid who figured it out. So go figure it out. Create a platform. But there were certain people who broke through that continued to do their hustle and figure it out.
Yeah. Well, there was no platform to create back then except CDs and going out on the, out of the
there were other radio stations and they saw, prime example, let's think about it. Art LeBeau, who I love and adore, he was kicking ass in all his affiliates with his syndicated radio show, but then when Pocos came out, we were smashing numbers on the radio. And here's this legacy personality who's always ran in his time slot, always ran Sunday nights. Yeah. And so I went and sat down and had dinner with Art LeBeau at the Rainbow Room, and then all of a sudden Art LeBeau was playing Latin hip-hop in the middle of the Art LeBeau show, which only was better for our movement. It only expanded the movement.
Yeah. Not only that, but because he plays oldies and our culture likes oldies.
Right. And we all love Art LeBeau. Are you kidding?
Perfect.
But are you kidding?
It's a perfect combo.
Right. But that was part of what that movement did. That was part of how, like, it changed the face of the Art Laboe show, musically.
Yeah. How many CDs did you throw out the car?
I never threw CDs out of the car, but how many CDs did I?
Or
a
when
lot.
they gave you,
and you know what?
Listen to my stuff.
Straight up.
And you said,
usually I didn't. When people would come up to me and say, "Hey, can you listen to my song?" or they send me their song, I'm usually not as inspired to listen to it. Where I like to discover my music is when the people are pushing it to me. Like, you can see. I'm like, oh, the people are feeling, okay, this is real.
I heard about the party.
This is real. Like, I respect you. I respect your hustle. But before you come to me, come to the streets first and get a buzz from the people. So usually it was the people pushing the records through. I mean, they were letting you know what it is. They'll let you know what they want to see, what they want to hear, what they're feeling, what they're not feeling. It was all based on that.
Now, there was no way of them emailing you and stuff like that, right? It wasn't that big. It was there, but
the access to it wasn't there. Like, we had, my partner at the time, super smart tech-wise. We had the app, we had the 24/7 radio station back then, but it's like nobody had access to it. The phones like that, or those type of plans on their phones. So we were like way ahead of the time with all that. No, it was letter. I used to go pick up U.S. mail crates full of letters. Most of them, probably 80% of them from prison. But people would write, like, real deal. Like, I respect the prison system and everything that the fact that I was able to be a voice for them on the inside and for their families. When
you didn't have no stalkers. Like, ones that would follow you to show or like broadcast.
Nah.
Hey, here's my CD, here's my music.
Oh, stalkers like that musically? Yeah, but it was like I kind of always knew how to, and I was always so surrounded. Like, at a certain point, the streets really surrounded me, so I was always so surrounded and protected. It was it was like they knew when Khoolaid would come to the club, she would be rolling up with all the homies, have a couple of bottles of Hennessy ready for her because she about to light this up, but the homies would always be around me.
Oh, that's dope.
Is it different now? Been thinking about this question like the whole time. Is it different now, like the way you saw the buzz of the Chicano rappers? You said phone calls were coming in for Little Rock. Okay, and then now with the new generation, is it like that? Is it through messages?
It's so much easier to see, because and you can see it. What I love about it is I can see it a lot earlier. So, like, I've had fun with Tommy Guns and the 16th Street, 16th Letter Boys. Like, to watch that movement and be such an early, in on it. Now my new ones that I'm totally in on, that I'm able to see really early, are the kids from the 619. I'm loving what they're doing, Nate and
619, Nate.
I've seen a couple of them. They're popping up. Yeah, they're pretty dope.
Diego,
we gotta bring them on too.
You do. You need to bring them on. I love those kids.
They got good spit, dog.
Yeah, they're hard.
I was checking them out.
They're hard. Flacco, they're sick. So there's a whole new crew coming out of Diego.
Well, how do you know which ones deserve your attention? Because there's a lot of them that just come and go, and you've seen them in the music game.
People are gonna come and go. Now. That's like kind of on you. Like, are you gonna, if you give somebody the platform, you bring them on the show because they're popping, it's like, are you gonna be a come and go artist, or are you gonna be somebody that can create heritage and continue to seed and create legacy for yourself? So it's like, if you come and go, that's your problem.
So
I'm gonna find you while you come, and I'm gonna find you at the beginning. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find what the streets want or what the streets are feeling, and the style is so different now. My whole thing too that I love doing is creating like unity between like the OGs and some of the youngsters, because it's like I feel like the OGs can spit and help the youngsters make less mistakes.
Yeah, but the youngsters don't listen to the OGs.
You'd be surprised. You would be
Burley now. Man. There's like a nice little movement right now, but I mean that barely started. Say 2-3 years ago.
I know.
The youngsters were beefing with the OGs.
I know, but we're creating. It's up to us to create the culture.
Yeah,
it's
up to us. Have someone like yourself here, because then you could teach them how the ropes should be.
Stop glazing, Moses.
Yeah. Stop being a hater, fool. Moses is my boy. This Ocho and Ocho.
I'm feeling it for you.
This ain't 1-8 over here.
Yeah, is it? What I'm saying is like
Mr. Negative TV over there.
Is the buzz? What I'm saying is because you've seen it from the. I guess my question is more like you've seen it from the radio, and like you said, because I've never been on the radio. You said like when they were requesting rap songs, they were calling in crazy.
Yeah.
Is the buzz more authentic back then or now? Or is it more tainted now with the camera and the internet and like you can buy views?
It's less about the music. I'm able to tell. I mean, I'm sure you guys are able to tell who's buying views. You can tell. I can tell. I can tell real quick. I can tell real quick now. I'm an old ass 48-year-old lady, and I can tell real quick now who's real, who's authentic, and then again, there's some times where I'll just like somebody, like even the I love my baby Tommy Guns and what 16th.
Have you met that boy? That little boy. What's that little boy's name from Orange County? That little kid.
Oh man, I forgot.
It's a little kid. He's like 13. What's his name? Jay the Mac.
Jay the Mac is my baby.
He got a real fan base.
Yeah. That's my baby.
Got a real fan base.
And his camp is dope. They know what they're doing. Yeah. He's got a cool little camp around him. And I love Jay.
The homie from the OC managers.
Yes.
I'll tell you, we've had people come over here and we know they got fake subscribers and fake everything. That little kid brought a real crowd with him.
Yeah. I love Jay. That's my baby. That's my baby.
Yeah.
You know who else? You think that's too young?
I think it depends on the story. I think it depends on the life they lived, and I think J Mac has a crazy story, and the fact that his dad and him are fighting so hard, and his dad is such a solid single father. I have a lot of respect for him, and it's like he's got a harder story, and it's like I'm here for him to tell it, but I am here as mom, and I will be looking with my eyes crossed with certain things, and it is what it is. But yeah, he's got a story to tell, and he deserves to tell it. I really love him and his dad and that whole camp.
Go ahead, my bad.
I was telling you. So there's certain cats I'll see.
Because when you in 2000 you're on the radio, you can't fake the phone calls.
There's certain
they coming in and they calling, hey, we want to see.
But you can't. You know what it is. So what my answer to that is, you can't fake it. You guys know when somebody's faking it. So people think they can fake it with the numbers, but you can't fake it, especially when it comes to a street movement. So it's like there is certain people that I might grab that I'll see that I'll put my life on, and I'll put everything on. Like right now, the ones that I'm really, really riding for are Demon from 16th. I think he is super hard. Yeah. I love him. And Young Chach out of the 805. Love him.
Young Chach is cool. I fuck with Young Chach too.
I go with him hard.
Yeah, he be going live. I jump in real quick. Like, what up, dog? He cool.
Yeah, he's a good balance of personality and the music. Yeah. So that's a lot of it. It's a lot of it. Some of it, the music isn't as much of the focus now with
image.
All of this and the fact, the lack of it's only that 15-second part of the song. I'm trying to get used to the delivery because I want to listen to him bang the whole song, and it's like, no, wait for it. It builds up to this, but no, it's like they want the build up right now, right here.
Well, that's why songs now are 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah. Well, and the videos are whatever, 30 seconds. They're putting up 30-second clips. They're just doing the verticals and not doing videos because the videos don't do nothing.
4-minute songs back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Do you think because it's bigger, there's a lot more rappers now, let's be real, than there was back?
I don't know. I think I think
yes,
so. There's a lot more rappers because the accessibility to record is a lot easier.
In little country towns now in California.
Well, the accessibility,
they're coming out, or like my town. I mean, there's
I told them they're killing it, putting Pixley on the map. Because I said when they came in and they were
nothing to put on the map though.
Well, but here's the thing: when they came in, that's huge. Though they were the first out of. I was like, all those years, I've heard every hood. I know where every hood is in Texas through Cali. I hadn't heard of it yet. Yeah. And I'm like, this is crazy. They put in this hood on the map. Yeah. That's where I was talking about really doing something for your hood, for the hood economics and making it bigger for your hood. That's a prime example. Like that. Yeah. That to me is hood economy.
Yeah, it's a little town. My town's smaller.
Yeah. They don't have a Walmart.
My town has 800 people. Wow, and there's I'm a rapper out of there. There's another rapper. That's where J-Rock is from. That area. No. I'm from Imperial Valley by the Mexican border.
From Nyland.
A little town of 800 people by El Centro.
Wow.
You know Glamis.
And I made it.
It's like Glamis.
Like Glamis, yeah. And now there's other rappers that saw me come up, and then now they're doing it. And they're young too.
Inspiration.
So that's what I'm saying. Before there was no rap.
Accessibility to create. Right. It's like people can create their own TV shows on here. Yeah. They can create their own podcast, their own radio shows. They can create whatever they want. The reason that there's so many more creators is because of the accessibility to create.
So my other question is, back in the day, the rappers were from major cities, mostly LA, San Diego. That was the big. Texas, right? The big Chicano movement. And now there's so many other rappers. I feel like when they did shows back then, they always had a crowd. I always remember Now when they do shows,
we didn't really get to do shows back then.
Yeah, well,
they blocked us out of doing.
Then I guess I want to fast forward to maybe mid 2005.
You guys, that era, you guys were killing it. So where I went to sleep.
But now I feel like it could be like 10 rappers. Mm-hmm. I see it, and I'm not knocking nobody. I'm trying to grasp the explanation. There'll be 10 rappers, and they all got buzzes. And then
nobody in the fans,
nobody in the show. It'll be like 10 people or 20 people, and I'm trying to think
because their fans are probably little kids.
Internet. I'm thinking that. That's
or is it just that everybody's so consumed with being on their phone that the interest to go out is like? Because I've wondered that too. Because like I'll go show up somewhere and it's like they're cracking with a couple million followers, some influencer or something, and like nobody shows up.
Right. So I had an idea that maybe, when these guys are like real camera famous, maybe when they do a show, they could do like the virtual show and charge the ticket online, like $40 to get in our show. And then, like, if I feel like it's going that route,
just gave her your whole game plan,
we're gonna build it together.
Yeah, so she's gonna give my cut.
She's a money maker. So you get over, my boy.
No, don't worry. I'm a creator.
Virtual show. Because a lot of
she got really quiet and looked at you crazy.
Because a lot of fans.
She's like, man, so no, I'm taking this down.
Yeah.
Listen.
Text to Mizza.
I'm all about it because a lot of fans I feel like are, like you said, in the suburb areas in Wisconsin, in Utah, and they might
even
not,
the ones here. It's like I feel like people are motivated to. It's like we get everything in 15 seconds here to sit around and wait at a show, to sit around, to go in, and they don't have the span for it.
They might say, hey, Demon from Pixie, that fool's dope, but I could watch him from here.
Right.
Why do I got to get up and go pay the $30 ticket?
Well, so that's the thing too. As artists and as talent, how do we create that? How do we create
what I'm trying to say.
But they are like, shouts out to Status, that music fest.
That was put together well.
We had so much fun, and I think it's different now too. I think that the way we serve people concerts too has to be different. I think it's really about the brands coming in and sponsoring it, and the show ticket being free to the people. Like I think a different economy, being more creative with the economy especially for our music.
It was put together well.
Oh, Status,
and then having G,
that's what
G's followers, they jumped through the window for him.
Yeah, well, G's my baby. I love G and drummer. Like, it's crazy experience when you're around them.
And then mixed in with all the other artists.
Like, are you kidding? And then C&G, is another one that I think is lyrically like so dope. Like his swag.
He's on tour, huh?
I love seeing. Yeah, and
he's on tour
and he's
right now.
taking a risk. Not only is he on tour, he's on tour with it's there's a bunch of them out there doing it together, and it's like I love that. I love seeing those movements.
That's the Little Weirdo tour.
Yeah. Only little weirdos on that.
Salute them, man. It's gonna it's gonna start back up in 2 weeks. I seen a little post, so man, salute them.
A lot of growth right now.
Mr. Keepa Hood's on that tour. P-Face is on that tour. All the young homies are doing it, so salute them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, Mama's over here excited. I didn't expect to get back in the music.
Mama or grandma?
Both.
She said
both. No. You don't need to talk shit. Straight 48. Straight grandma. Yeah, my baby Surrealist has a baby girl, so yeah, I'm straight grandma.
How many kids you have?
I have.
Congratulations.
I have my 2, and then I have my bonus baby Surrealist, who.
The grand.
I got a 2-for-1 deal.
You have a boy and a girl, or 2 girls?
I have a boy and a girl. Well, 2 boys and a girl.
Okay, shoot. How's your oldest? Your oldest, is it boy?
It's my bonus baby, which is he's a rapper who's really dope. Surrealist, and Vel 9.
Oh, is that your actual son?
That's my baby. I'm his bonus mom.
So I've seen him. Her man is a rapper. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen a couple of his
That's my bonus son. I'm his bonus mom.
He's like a hip hop.
Oh, he's hard. Lyrically, he's hard. Plus he's real with it, but then he's lyrically hard. Like I'm proud of him. I'm super proud of him. And so I have my grandbaby through him.
I'm gonna need Vel on here.
Yeah, Vel's hard. Well, they'll come together. They come as a duo. They're the new Prince and Princess of hip hop. Like I love that union.
I've been fucking with Vel for a minute. She got dope music.
She's hard.
She's dope.
And she's a wonderful human. That's my baby girl.
Yeah, she's dope.
So I got a question. Chicano rap was already in the major stores before you got into that scene?
Violet had obviously had some of the records in there. She had the Spanish Fly in there, but we opened a whole floodgate to, she was able to see what was hot. We were able to figure out what was hot too by sales and what was being requested, what people would request.
But Chicano rap was already in the stores, right?
Chicano rap was already, the movement was there.
But it wasn't titled Chicano rap, was it?
Yes. And that's the funny part is when people, it's like, yes, it was Chicano rap. It was Chicano rap. I was a Chicano rap fan. I didn't coin that term. I was a Chicano rap fan. Like, I was loving the music and what was going on within that movement. I didn't make that term.
Why you think it's called Chicano rap? Why couldn't it just be rap?
That's a good question. I don't know, but then at the end of the day,
brown people rapping, right?
Yeah, I can't answer that question. I don't. That's a good question. It's a great question. I don't. But honestly, I'm okay. Like, I stand on Chicano culture now. Like, I stand on the pride of being Chicano and everything that it brings, and like I have no problem.
So when people say they don't want to be in a box,
right?
Do you say that?
Do I say? Well, it's I've heard that for years. It's like, okay, you don't want to be.
Shadow said it.
You don't want to be in a box. Yeah, Shadow and I had talked about it, but Shadow realizes, and that's the one thing people don't. Shadow realizes and embraces and is grateful for the fact of the audience and how hardcore the Chicano rap audience is. But being as lyrical as he was, it was like, like Shadow said when he was on with me, was, like, why wasn't House of Pain Irish rap? Why wasn't Eminem white rap? Like, I get all that. Miz went into it really good on our sit down with Shadow, but it's like, I don't know. I didn't coin that term, but at the end of the day, it's like I'm a proud Chicano rap fan.
Yeah.
I just had an outlet for a music.
You had a big voice
that was out there. Again, remember, my show was Latin hip hop.
Yeah.
But the Chicano rappers were killing it in the streets of Los Angeles. It was what it was. I didn't create the movement. I wish I created the movement. I didn't create the movement. I gave the movement a platform and a voice, but I was a fan of the movement. I was a fan of Chicano rap. I am a fan of Chicano rap. Yeah. And I ain't afraid to say that word. And I'm a fan of Chicano filmmakers. And I want to see Chicanos take over the Hollywood right now. Like, super strong on it. Super strong.
Do you think that box exists? Like, when people be like, oh, I don't want to be part of that box. Do you think it really does exist within hip hop?
Not anymore. I mean, I think, back then I can see why you'd feel that way, but it's like, there was no radio was looking at us thinking we were crazy. Like, no, people don't listen to that, or that they tried that with a few groups back in the day. It didn't work. That type of music doesn't work. And the doors were totally closed. Now think about it this way. That same box that I put them in, or that we put them in, or whatever.
The truth comes out.
So no, but I'm just saying, no, it is the truth. Like, I've heard that. This is not new. I've heard that from certain artists or certain people. But it's like, think about that same box. New York was not playing, Texas was not playing any West Coast rappers, period. Here we had 3 hours of predominantly Chicanos playing in New York. Like, play with me about that box when we went to New York, and when we all went to Puerto Rico together. Play with me, talk to me about that box. So it's like,
So you've heard that, right? So when people be like, I don't want to be part of that box.
I've heard that.
Okay, so the word on the streets is you created that box.
No, I didn't. The movement was already there.
Well, let me tell you how they say you created it.
Okay.
You tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so Chicano rappers were already at the music stores. Warehouse music. They were already in all these major stores, and everything was labeled by letter when you go in the record stores. If you look in the S,
I've heard these arguments. These kind of make me. These are funny.
You would find all the rappers with the letter S, right?
You would find them mixed in with all different races of rappers, right?
You could discover new artists that way if you were not going there for Chicano rap. But word is that when you got there and you started messing with Violet Brown, you created a section just for Chicano rap.
Such false information.
Okay.
Such wrong information. It was always in the rap section. There were always debates within the major labels that had nothing to do with me that I had to watch, where they didn't, because there was a Latin music section at that time too.
Yeah.
So, and at this time, there wasn't a lot of the Chicano rappers. We're talking of a small amount. You had like Spanish Fly, Little Rob in the stores. We're talking a small amount.
Yep.
And they were all in the rap section.
The bigger ones.
We were never moved out of the rap section. What we did have, because of Violet Brown, was an end cap. And an end cap is prime real estate in any retail store. So like, when you go into the grocery store and you see Cheez-Its all on the end cap, and that's prime real estate. Cheez-Its pays a hell of a lot of money for that. Well, at that time, Snoop Dogg and everybody was paying a hell of a lot of money to be on that end cap. But Violet Brown made a program so that our music could afford to be on an end cap.
On their own end cap.
It was a section of the end cap.
Okay, so on the end cap, you're saying there was Snoop there too.
There was Snoop, but then there was Shadow and Night Owl, and as part of the end cap, there were pics of the radio show. Labels that would come in and they would buy into the end cap.
They had to pay to get in that.
Nothing to do with me. It was the real estate of the end cap.
Okay.
Now the end cap at the retail store did not take everybody out of the hip hop section. They were still in the rap section musically. But the end cap put certain artists on the front line, because sometimes Violet would also pick what was hot, because then she knew that would sell through. So she put hot artists that were doing well in sales on the end cap. So maybe people who weren't on the end cap felt bad about not being on the end cap, but everybody was still in the rap section. So that's complete false information. I have heard that.
Okay, no, well, I'm glad, because you probably never said your side.
Yeah.
You hear all these old
I hear people
that say it, and there's no podcast. You barely started doing podcasts.
Yeah.
So now you can speak the truth, which is good.
Yeah.
You can put a lot of these rumors to rest.
Yeah. And
what you're saying too, though, is like, let's just say
was huge for us that we had end cap placement.
Right,
was huge for us, like huge for our movement, that we were in there with the big dogs.
Artist that wasn't in where the letters were at, like in the S's, B's, or the regular thing, and they wanted to get on the end cap, but they weren't popular. They could make a payment and get on the end cap.
Yeah,
you can buy into commercials. You could buy into. They ran warehouse commercials strictly for our genre and movement. And then they would get a clip of their song within the commercial, and they would be placed on the end cap.
Okay.
So it was promo. But all the major labels were doing it too with the major artists. She created an economy that our artists could do that.
Okay.
And afford to do that, because the major labels, it was crazy what they were paying for that real estate. But that didn't take you out of being in the rap section. If you weren't in the rap section, the only reason you weren't in there is because Violet Brown wasn't buying your records at the time, or the warehouse wasn't pulling in your records, or Tower Records wasn't pulling in your records. That's more of a you situation and getting out there and doing the work.
End cap, though. You could buy in an end cap.
On a marketing level,
That's dope.
So if you weren't on the radar,
that's actually dope. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's actually like
it would be your way to get yourself
rappers
on some
that weren't getting their voice out there to.
So where was the
you didn't have to be on Pocos Pero Loco. You didn't have to be on the
bleep. Don't worry.
You got me. Thank you. You didn't have to be on the show in order to get on the end cap.
So where's the disconnect from these older rap labels, Chicano rap labels, that believe that you did that? Why would you think that they would think that? There has to be something.
I don't. There could be multiple things. Maybe they didn't get enough play.
Yeah.
Maybe they just.
Who knows?
Multiple reasons.
Now I got a question for you. Who do you think is making more money, the old school Chicano rappers or the new wave?
Ooh, I think the new wave is killing it with the promo stuff and the quick offs. I think our old school guys, I'm really proud of what Little Rob and Bash and Magic have done, with the touring, and they've stayed super relevant and created a solid lifetime economy for themselves.
Plus, a lot of the labels back then, like High Power Records, they made millions.
Yeah, because the physical sales were crazy for all of us then. I mean, like when I would drop our compilation records, we'd have lines around the block at our in-stores. I mean, it was crazy. Like hundreds of people would show up for the album release in the in-stores, and you're talking about, you know, at that time, you know, we were all making like $8 a record.
Yep.
Wow. That's pretty good money.
Plus, there's not
when the ringtone first came out, even like money. A ringtone was $3.99. Music was not free. The music business has been really screwed up now. So
you're getting like half of a penny.
Call the music, he'll give you the exact number
for 10 streams. You know what I mean? Like
it's
less,
a lot less than that.
A lot less than that.
Like there's a lot of Chicano rap labels now. Mm-hmm. There was back then. Back then you had labels like actual labels, Familia Records.
But I was the only one creating the lane, right? Like there's all these labels, but I was the one creating the box. Come on, guys! Like it was what it was. It was a movement.
Yeah, now you don't have labels. Now you got individuals.
Is it fair to say that maybe the box was created by just everything, just everybody?
The box was created by society, unfortunately, and radio not accepting Mexican faces and Mexican culture and the lyrics at the time. And now, like I've said, it's pop culture. So
it's
now, like I'm proud coming out. I told you guys this. I didn't think I was gonna get back in the music, and y'all pulled me back in to see all these seeds sprout and to see what's going on. Like, how can I not be active? I mean, the streets are so active right now. It's like crazy. I did not expect this. I did not expect to be embraced like this. I did not expect for these young artists to want the mentoring. I mean, the minute I came out, the love I got from like YBE and Yellow Hill, and I mean, it there was no way I couldn't jump back into the music.
When did you see a change in the radio with the new digital era? When, like, back then, like you said, you had the whole old rappers, and then you had the new wave of like now you got online that came and digital sales and stuff.
You know what's crazy? That's a great question, but a big part of that was during my hiatus, during that 15, 16 year hiatus that I was raising the kids. Like I knew that I knew radio was getting stale and changing a little bit, and that was part of the reason when I had left my gig I wanted to be able to go out on the road with the radio show, and then at the time I had the Downlean Like a Cholo record independently, and I knew that things were changing. But then I got into full mom mode and taking care of my dad while he was passing away and advocating for my son and his learning differences. And just, that was the plan for me to be a stay-at-home mom. Completely forgot who I was, completely didn't know how music was working, the consumption of music. So I think that happened a lot during that period.
When did you exit?
2000 and I did do Philly Brown. But when my daughter was just born, so she was born in 2010. So around 2010.
Oh no, then you were around when the high power era took off.
Oh, I was around for high power. I was around to watch that. Yes, I think when I dipped out, like if you're talking musical timeline, him and I were talking about it. Yeah. I was able to sit down with King Little G a little bit and watch a little bit of the growth of that. But it was right when G was coming out was when I kind of went on my hiatus. So right when that whole movement was that part of the movement.
2012.
2010, 11, 12.
That's when I left too, when I stopped messing around. So like the Capone era, how was that? Like, because I mean, he started mixing the oldies with the rap.
I've got super respect for Capone's hustle, for Capone's work ethic, for how Capone overcame all the naysayers. It's kind of like me. It's like, okay, we all know already, but he represents the culture. Get over it. The background thing. Yeah. I watched that hung over him for years. And it's like, but nobody's repping as hard with the work ethic that he's coming in with. That was one of the ones who he didn't care about any platform on the radio, any platform anywhere. He was going to do it on his own regardless. And I got a lot of respect for Capone's hustle. Oh.
And he's still around.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's how it's got to be though.
Yeah.
Yes. I tell youngsters, they hit us up all the time to come on here, and our schedule be busy, right?
Yeah.
And I tell them, hey, listen, you don't always have to get it here. Like, you can go out, and there's a lot of rappers that don't do any podcasts, and they're doing great.
He built his destiny and legacy on his own, and now his destiny and legacy stands on its own 2 feet and will never go anywhere. It's MC Magic, same thing. Like, they built their own legacies, and it's incredible. And I have super respect for him because of that.
The whole high power era happened, and then all of a sudden, ringtones, Lean Like a Cholo.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest ringtones ever for Chicano rap.
Yeah. Definitely, we got a Billboard award for that, for Latin Billboard for Chicano rap, ringtone of the year at the Latin Billboards for that.
How were you part of that?
That went through our record label independently.
Which record label was that?
I had a record label.
Oh, you had one. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that were.
What was the name? Oh, okay, my bad.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flossie was part of that.
No, Flossie was one of our producers. Flossie, I actually went to. Yeah, Flossie produced Lean Like a Cholo, and Flossie actually I would go to a lot. I loved Flossie. He would go like when I did this record that I wanted to merge reggaeton and our genre, and so I went to Flossie and we did this bumper remix of this Julio Volteo song, and we put Pitbull on it and Little Rob on it, and went to Miami and shot the video. And that was one of those growth moments that I love. But yeah, Fingers is a huge.
There you go. Fingers was a producer.
Part. Yeah. Oh, he produced that record.
Produced that record. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a huge part of the culture just in general, and also making the quality of the sound step up, because I would say that he was one of the most skilled producers in the genre.
He does a talk box.
He does a talk box, but he's also a producer.
That's what he. I know. But he's really known for that.
For the talk box. Yeah.
Doing it smooth.
Do that again?
Oh man, get out of here, man! Make sure you edit that part, Booker. Yeah, you will.
So that song came out, and it sold the most ringtones ever from Chicano.
Yeah.
How big was that?
Probably did. I mean, I'm sure it did. Who else? We would be guessing, but it was a big record. So it was, he did great with that record, and that record crossed over, and that was all done independently. It was just all of us making the radio calls and going and hitting radio and getting on the road and driving to radio. And I mean, that was good times. And that was just when the digital was kind of just starting to pop, because I can remember, what were we watching it on? Was it MySpace at that time?
Yeah, probably MySpace. Yeah.
Or what was it? And we were seeing people make videos of the video. That was like one of the first times I saw.
Parodies and stuff.
Yeah, that happening.
Yeah, the crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sold over 1 million ringtones.
Yeah, it was a good record for the culture.
It was fun. It was a fun record.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not like a super fan of it, but it was good because it had that little vibe for the dancing. Yeah,
it was a fun record.
I'm not gonna just say it like that.
Moses?
I did not bump that.
No, I didn't.
That record still gets bumped.
Yeah.
No, it still gets bumped.
But I'm saying it wasn't like a record that I was like, oh,
that record it's a timestamp. Like when people hear it, like certain people, it's like it's a nostalgia era. It's one of those records that are placed in the movies because it reminds you of an era. That was a fun. Fingers and Down kills it on that record.
I was listening to Cypress Hill, Rage Against the Machine. That was my.
That was earlier that you were listening to that. I was listening to Cypress Hill too as a teenager, and going into all their concerts. And
what year did Lean Like a Cholo come out? Do you know?
2008, 2007, maybe.
You probably would know better than I'd know. I'm not good with my timelines.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was bumping G Unit.
Yeah,
I was on the G Unit run right there.
Yeah,
I was on my buddy.
Yeah,
wherever I go, remember that one? Remember the G?
He tried to come back with more hits and couldn't do it. You think so?
Well, I was silent for quite a while and out of the loop for quite a while, and everybody just keeps working hard. Everybody just keeps doing their thing. Yeah. That's all you can do. It's really magical. Yeah, it's really magical when you have a record like that, and that's a hard part about being an artist is it's
chasing that viral
moment. That magic moment, because there's no. I mean, there are certain people who have certain formulas to it, but for the most part,
who that song who owned it?
For the most part. That went through our record independently, but now he owns it now.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
there was a lot of controversy behind that record at one point.
Because that's a big record.
Yeah, it was.
And usually is when it's a lot of money involved and shit like that.
So it was great for the culture. Yeah. We got to win. We got to win.
I mean, together we
did so much together. We had so much fun running that record, and breaking boundaries that an artist from here normally couldn't break. We had a lot of fun.
Yes, no.
Production budgets, in Miami at Billboard Latin, and bringing out lowrider bikes and having the little dancers, the little Miami dancers dressed, in our gear.
Would that be the most popular song?
That was all about to ask. Was there another song you were tied to that was big like that one?
No, I mean, we just had the compilations did well. We had some good records on some of the compilations, but that was the biggest. That was as a independent record label. That was my biggest record.
So then you go away and then you come back, and you're here now.
Yeah.
What made you come back?
Oh man, well, like I told you, like the going away part was because that was the plan was for me to be the stay-at-home mom, and I completely forgot who I was in that era. What made me come back was I went through the life break that a lot of people do, that life-shattering moment, and went through a divorce and completely forgot who I was under the blanket for about 5-6 years, not knowing my value. Only thing I could do was get up and support my kids. I was a softball coach mom and just an advocate for my kids, but didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up or that I even had a career. And when I popped back out, I knew all I could do was show up during that time. And when I showed up, again, like I told you guys, I was sitting there. My son starts playing music for me. I showed up at Rowdy's birthday, and I was super inspired. And everybody was hitting me up from YBE to G, inviting me to his Halloween party. When they saw me kind of pop my head back out, Demiza was super inspiring. Watching him pop back out after taking care of his grandma, we had sat at a restaurant together, just completely broken. Like, what are we going to do? And after being caretakers for so long, and I told Miz, I laughed at him and said, all you need to do, fool, is show up. You're Demiza. And he had the courage to show up, and I kind of followed right along with him.
How hard was it that you come back and you see all these unfamiliar names and faces? Like, who are all these people? And all the OG ones that they're no longer doing anything, at least not on the big platform. And now you see all these new people.
Well, it was intimidating at first because, there was, and that was a big intimidating part, was it's like, it's none of my OGs. Nobody's going to know who I am. Nobody's going to, but coming out, and it's like all these faces that people would be like, oh, these are big, huge faces, or these are big, huge people, would come up and be like, you inspired me to do this, or and knowing that gave me so much confidence. It's like, I grew up watching that's why I'm doing this, or that's what was part of the reason I did that. And feeling that love from like Brown Bag and Letty. And, when I felt like I had nothing, when I felt like people didn't know who I was, knowing that I inspired whole careers and that people were vulnerable enough to share that with me and help me through my dark period.
And I know it sucks seeing some of these people on a higher level because they're really trying to get to that level again.
It doesn't suck at all. That's super inspiring. And it's like, I'm not the great thing about being
Khoolaid. These are podcasters that just happen overnight.
The great, well, not that Letty story. Letty she's
I'm
a
not
very
saying her. Just other ones.
Oh, you're talking about the other ones out here
and
making
came out of nowhere. They don't have no experience in the game. They never did anything for anything. They just grabbed up a mic, put themselves in the closet somewhere, and now they're booming. How's it feel that it's like, damn?
You know what? I guess that the way I'm built is different. Like, I don't look at it and like hate it. Like, I'll be like, okay, cool.
You earned it though.
I'll be like, cool little homie, I'm gonna come be on your platform. Let's rock out together. I'll go, I'll have a little homie like Drex just chill with me once and be like, okay, they see it and they see how fun I am and how real I am and want to hang and do things and create. It's like I don't look at it, and I guess that I'm a little lucky in the sense that I've got a great family and I'm not in this desperate. So it's like I'm out here figuring out what I want to be when I grow up and how I want to do it. So I don't feel like I'm trying to get to a certain level or do a certain thing, or that I'm not here or I'm not there. I know what my accomplishments are. I know how many people I helped. And to me, that's my legacy and that's enough. Now what it is more of a challenge of, okay, how do I create a new legacy too that my kids can watch now, because they never got to see, they didn't know who their mom was. They never got to see their mom do this. So how do I create that new era legacy for my kids and show my daughter what coming back after darkness, that you can still come back out and you can still rock it after completely round two, hard fight. Big ones that helped me out of that was my girl Martha Vargas. She was one of the ones too, Martha Concrete, that grabbed me up out the dirt and were like, Khoolaid, what are you doing? Like, you just come show up, like
pull up
and you'll figure it out. And
you got to pull up to the party.
Dude, I'm so alive right now, you guys, so alive, so ready for everything new that life has to offer, so ready to help the youngsters, be helped by the youngsters. They're helping put me on. I mean, they're making my numbers crazy. The young Ocho and 16th manager, they'll grab my phone and they'll be like, no, you're doing it all wrong, and they'll just take a clip out of my phone where I've got no TikTok following because I don't work TikTok, and all of a sudden I got hundreds of thousands of views just because they know how to clip it. It's like it's crazy community right now out here.
It's crazy new.
So here's a good question. What do you bring to the table for Chicano rap now?
What do I bring to the table? Well, I don't even think it's pop culture. It's the movement now. It's the future. It's like, what do I bring to the table? I think what I hope I can bring is a sense of accountability, a positive voice, a little love. I hope that's what I can bring. Just a little bit of a different energy, that there is a different side.
Not too much hate.
Well, you could also show them the ropes too in this industry. You know?
Well, but then again, they show me the ropes too. It's so dope when like Ocho and I get to sit down together and build, because it's like I can kick him some of the old school stuff we used to do, or the old school relationships.
Is that still valuable today?
Some of it is, I think more than ever now too. Some of that hand in like being out there with the people. I think some of the old school strategies need to be a little of. I'm seeing it work. I'm seeing my old school strategy. I'm just doing old school me. Coming out here. So it's like, and I'm seeing that being out there with the old school flyer mentality. The flyer's just different now. The flyer's the podcast. The flyer's the getting out there in the community, going to shows. That old school hand to fist, what's up? I'm here, and I'm solo on all 10, not afraid of anything. Let's go. It still works. There's still credibility and value to that.
But everything's about making money. So how are we trying to make money nowadays?
That's a good question. That's the new part. That's the scary part a little bit. Is the industry wasting your time. Right? The industry has completely changed. The music economy completely sucks for making music and the indie artist. And it's like, so how do we figure this out? But the great part is being out here right now. Now I'm figuring it out. I'm seeing what type of relationships we need to build with brands to get brands out on the front where they need to be in the right platforms, where they're actually aligning with the proper brands. Of course, there's certain brands that aren't going to align with you guys, but there's certain great brands that you guys would align with perfectly, that they would get a lot more value off than any radio station commercial or any old school. It's a matter of creating those economies right now. So that's all the big part of it that my little nerd brain has been wrapping itself around, and seeing the business of how I want to create and how I want to help others find the bag.
Yeah.
So that's the fun part. That's the competition part. It's like we're in a time where we can recreate. We can be the filmmakers. We can. Yes. I mean, what they did with horchata with oat milk is beautiful. But we got to figure out how to make money on these projects and how to make these projects build. But at the same time, even though the economy shook, there's a ton of doors open in the economy. So we just like I told you, I'm not going to sit here and hate on the next fool who's figured out how to make money and feel like their platform is the only platform I can be on.
I don't mean hate.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm saying no. Wait. I'm not saying you. I'm saying just in general, like when you and I were talking about people hating that weren't played on the show or that weren't put in certain situations. That's what I'm talking about. So it's like I'm not going to sit there and look at those platforms doing well. I'm going to take my own advice, and that's go out there and figure it out and build. Yeah. And what does that high power look like? What does that new high power look like? What is that? Build that for ourselves.
You gotta figure out how to get the audience to click on that phone. Yeah.
Well, click on the phone. Some of you guys have figured out how to get the audience to click on the phone, but how do you generate the income? The economic part of it is what he's absolutely correct on, that we're all building.
It starts there, because if you can get 100 people to stream your song,
100%,
and then you learn how to make sure you own the rights to your song.
Yeah.
That's a big part. A lot of these rappers don't own
Well, not really anymore. Now at this point, it's just the music economy sucks so bad that you have to figure out other ways. You know, these kids are out there doing it with all the pop-ups and all the quick endorsements they're doing with new clothing brand. Right.
Because if they put a song out today and they put it on Spotify, Apple Music, they're not making no money.
Right.
They put it on YouTube, they're not making no money.
If they know how to use TikTok and utilize you can. So it's about knowing the new economies, figuring out the new economies and creating new economies, and just not looking at it from a musical aspect and complaining, but like, okay, so how can I get creative here? This is a challenge.
They're going to make money off the YouTube revenue, the TikTok revenue, and the Facebook or Instagram. But as far as like album sales, they're not going to make no money on that shit.
Well, you have to be in the millions.
And then the clothing lines.
Nobody doing that shit.
No, but I'm saying,
but even in the millions,
chosen few. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's you know what you look like. You would ride for all your artists. Like you just look like you're not going.
Which artists are we talking about?
I ride for my people.
Playlist right now.
Who am I bumping right now? I mean, like I said, YBE, one of my absolute faves. CNG, one of my absolute faves. Yellow Hill, one of my absolute faves.
Have you heard of Gravedigger?
Oh, he's dope.
I don't know. I've got to look.
I'm gonna put you up.
Okay, put me on it. I love it.
He's one of the.
Put me on it.
When you're in a room, this is a like personal question. You're in a room full of rappers and artists, right? And you have experience from the past, right? You've seen artists on the radio that blew up. That you obviously were with the one that made the song "Lean Like a Cholo." Can you like tell from your experience when an artist is gonna blow and when they're not gonna?
When
blow?
They're magical, yeah, I can see the magic, especially once you're in a room with them.
And when you
that's what I saw with Demon. When I was in the room with Demon, like. Yeah, there's something about him that's way different.
We got him his first 1 million views.
That's facts.
Wow. Yeah, there's something about him that when I saw him, I didn't know his numbers. I didn't know anything he was doing. I just looked at his swag, the way he authentically carried himself, his personality. Just,
I went all the way up there to his little town.
Yeah.
And visited him before he even was blowing up.
That's dope.
Was in his backyard in his hood with all his homies. They had a bonfire.
Well, and he's a big brain. Him and the young manager, a big brain behind, and Tommy will say it, behind putting that whole movement together and doing something bigger for their hood. I really value them. That's one of the ones I'm looking at that I'm like. And then this last weekend when the new kids came by from SD, I was like, okay, these kids are special.
I never heard of those. Who are they?
Yeah, I've been watching them. I've been looking.
Those kids that are with Weirdo?
No. They're doing. They might know them. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know their whole.
But
they're dope. They're dope.
He signed.
I don't know. I don't
think they're signed to Weirdo.
Okay.
I don't think it's probably a different group.
They're youngsters.
But see, like, I don't even know like who that is. Like, I need to see the group. There's so many artists out there. I'm like so excited.
Weirdo is.
Weirdo I love. Weirdo I love, but I don't know who his new group. Like, I probably do if I saw him. But there's so much out there. It's like it's so fun. But it's like
there's a lot of
I'm just out here as a fan. I'm out here as a fan. I'm going to represent things, create songs, create things as a fan right now because I have the privilege to be able to do that after all of my years and what I put in to be able to create now what I want to create and what I feel good about and what I believe in, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you gotta leave your legacy.
Yeah. And I got to be happy and enjoy making it. I mean, life is so short. It's like we think we have it all planned out and we think it's going to be a certain way, but like God's already got that plan. Yeah. That plan can change overnight. Like we don't know what that is, but it's already there. It's already planned out for us. So, I lead with love. And
so how did it feel being getting into the podcast game? Because I saw you do a podcast with Lil Rob.
Yeah, that was fun. With my trauma therapist best friend Sarah, I did that with her. Was part of. We went through a lot together during that dark time. She was there. We were there together, and it was just about showing up. So that was a show up show, and we went to the Little Rob Baby Bash MC Magic concert. And the way they brought me out and gave me my flowers and Bash pulled me aside. Yeah, that was that was one of my first
coming out,
and it was like I forgot. Like I didn't know that the audience
remembered you.
Yeah. And then also the artists, like how much they respected what I did for them and the love they gave me. And I mean, literally giving me my flowers there. It was crazy. And right away, little Rob, he doesn't do a lot of podcasts.
You don't do no podcasts.
Right. And him and his lady were like, no, we're going to do that for you. Like, we're going to come through because they know I lead, they know I lead with love.
Exclusive.
Because they know that I'm always the people I believe in. I'm not just the people I believe in, people in general. I always want to do what's best for people, period. We're all humans that struggle with the daily, one day up, one day down and feeling like shit. I don't want to ever feel like I brought that feeling of shit into anybody else's life. And so I think that's what it is. Even back in the day with all the beefs that would go on, or everybody knew I was a neutral party, and I will always stay a neutral party. I will not get between any of that. That's just not, my mom raised me differently.
So you didn't pick no sides?
Nah. I didn't pick it between any of that stuff. I would always stay neutral.
Imagine the headlines: radio lady gets shot up.
Yeah, remember only side I pick is
money.
Top of the food chain, baby. Ferocious Fernando Vargas Dynasty.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
So what do you got coming up next? You got a show coming up?
Some fun shows that I'm going to be doing, like a little more produced. The podcast thing's cool, but are we still rolling this?
Yeah,
we're
good.
I thought he was in the bathroom.
No, I'm still rolling once he's gone. And
the podcast thing is cool, but I like producing visions out a little more. So
like movies.
Definitely going to do movies. Like Echo's World is out there, and
that's what we need.
They inspired me so much with you really have to watch that film. Wow. I mean, I went out there watching, and I've said this before, watching Horchata with Milk, thinking I was just going to represent the homies because Concrete, Duno.
I know Concrete.
They did great. Oh my God, Duno was incredible. And we're talking about that was filmed like 4 or 5 years ago, like before they were even as seasoned as they are now, and they are incredible in that film. Jerry was incredible. Anthony's incredible. Like,
I'm gonna have to go watch it. I haven't watched it.
You have to watch it.
I've been hearing about it.
Yeah, you can get it. You have to watch it.
I saw pieces of it, but I'm gonna be watching it because I remember them talking to American Cholos. So.
Yeah, they're so dope. They killed that film.
Them three.
That film was so independently done well. Because for so many years I'd always hear like, the Latin version of like, oh, we need to do the Latin version of Fridays, and it gets so old. It's like
do our own.
Do it right. They truly made the Latin version of Fridays with that, but not trying to be the Latin version of Fridays. That was our Fridays. Like, they did such an incredible job. So yeah, I definitely am going to be making films and telling stories that matter right now politically. Not turning my eye to what's going on with with the people and what's happening racially is important to me because it's absolutely disgusting, and we can't just sit by and watch the way it's being done.
What?
So,
I was just talking about what Trump's doing. Just be real, We don't get political on our show, but
you got to use comedy.
But that's important to me.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you for sure.
So that's some of the stuff I'm going to be doing, and being a great mom and inspiring my kids and their dreams, and inspiring these youngsters that I have the blessing to be around that are like still think it's fun and cool to hang with a 48-year-old veterana.
OG status.
You're still moving a lot better than some of these youngins.
Right?
Yes.
We still have angry rappers that are still sitting on the couch from like our first episode.
Right?
And you're moving more than a lot of them. So
I have a good question.
Okay.
Why do you think that Slow Pain and the whole movement got left out of Chicano rap history? No, a lot of people remember them.
Talking about Slow Pain and the G Fellas?
Yeah. Not a lot of people remember them. When you think of like Chicano rap history, you think of like the Low Pros, the High Powers, the Little Robs, the Shadow, the Little.
That's
One.
why
you don't ever think of that LA movement from the Southeast.
Yeah, there's different perspectives. What's your perspective on it?
Because you know.
I don't know. I mean, I know Slow Pain to me was one of the greatest lyricists of all times. Period.
Here we go again.
Like one of the greatest storytellers of all times, I should say.
But not big on the outside.
Nino Brown was. Yeah, I feel like if there was more of if the music was where it was at now, Nino Brown, Slow Pain, those would be our stars. Like those,
G-fellas.
They're incredible, and they're incredible humans. And there's no artist friend I miss more.
Yeah, I feel like Capone. I'm just throwing my 2 cents. Capone, Low Profile, they were a lot more recognized because I feel like they were everywhere. They went everywhere. I don't remember ever seeing like.
Well, and it's not fair because we don't know where Slow would be right now in this new. It's like
I don't remember ever hearing Slow Pain's doing a show out
Slow
way
Pain
over
didn't
here.
sound like Chicano rap. That's why. He sounded like regular rap.
So he's ahead of his time.
But he didn't sound like hardcore Chicano.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know, like, because to me, he was as. Yes, he said lyrically and storytelling, but that's part of the thing. It's like, what's Chicano rap supposed to sound like? It's stories.
Cholo rap.
But what is that like? What is that supposed to be? It's like that's like saying hip hop or rap is supposed to be one thing.
Yeah, but Slow Pain and them had bald heads. They were homies.
Yeah, they were homies and would tell awesome stories. Because they could rap better. So like we can't keep the artists like Shadow that are Chicano or. Slow Pain, we can't keep them once they rap good. We let them, like, people let them go. Like,
I got all the records. If you know G Fellas, and then you know, I mean, that's all I bumped.
If you were to listen to Slow Pain but not see it, only hear it, would you know they were Mexicans?
Hell yeah! Slow Pain, are you kidding?
Homie, you ever heard that song, Rowdy? All I want to do is get rowdy.
Oh, man.
That shit's gangster, dog.
I mean, Slow Pain was buying Brown Love, putting every hood together on one record where people were scared to talk about the hoods. He put everybody on one record. Like, he was as Raza, certified, rep the Brown as it came.
Then, Slow Pain had that Raiders song.
Yeah.
The Oakland Raiders song. Where he talked about all like Oakland Raiders shit. You knew he was Mexican, bro.
Hell yeah.
Like, and those
the hardest Mexican on the planet, damn it.
Dog. I like I said, I like that shit because it was different.
You know, and you got to remember too, he was already, I mean, even when I came in with the show, like he was, like I was a fan of Slow Pains as a kid. Like he was, the Baby OG was breaking through.
That shit was tight.
Yeah, like I was as a fan. I listened to him. Well, he was in before. Like he was in with that whole Lighter Shade of Brown run. He was there with that Lighter Shade of Brown original run. Yeah, and then so he was already on the older front when everything was cracking off. And then it's not fair to say where he's at now because he hasn't. Honestly, if he was here to rep in the style he repped, like with the movement that's going on right now, yeah, he would dominate. He would dominate. He'd dominate in the storytelling. He'd have all these youngsters here.
I remember that. I was putting the lyrics in my head. Like that shit was pretty dope.
Yeah, nobody like him.
Yeah, I still remember them because I liked lyricism growing up. Like I liked Corrupt and Daz. Yeah. And the Slow Pain and them were right there with the lyrics.
And that was the fun part of, I got to be like between all that because it's like you got to remember not only was I doing what I was doing for the movement, but I was doing what I was doing for the West Coast. I'd have Sugar Free come up to my back door when I was doing overnights at Power and knock to tell me, Khoolaid, keep my name alive. I'm going on vacation. And it's like yes. So it was like I got to be a part of making sure that Daz and Shadow and Corrupt and Slow and everybody were like hanging together. And at part, they'd all be at my birthday parties. Like everybody, the West Coast and our rappers would show up along with Derek Fisher in full effect. So we had our own little unity going on in that era. Just not as easy of a way to get out.
Yeah. Oh,
right. Yeah.
Now you
social
got
media.
Now everybody pulls out their phone.
You can see it,
and you can record it. It's a lot cheaper to record. It's a lot cheaper to do. Half these kids aren't mixing and mastering anymore. I'm like, damn. Okay, we're skipping that step. All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music you listen to nowadays, and like, who the fuck produced this shit?
Yeah.
The
standards are different. The quality standards are different.
No, they're just trying to get it out faster.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Well, because people want it quicker too, because then they have to get it out faster. It's like, okay, we need a song every week. Like that's crazy.
I know.
But even though I'm doing it, that's what I'm doing is getting with a new artist every week. That's my new goal.
Because you think it's I don't even say it like that, but what do they say? Quantity over quality now?
Quality over quantity. But yeah, now it's quantity. Now it's quantity over quality.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yes. I did a fun one though a couple weeks ago with Tommy Guns and Conejo. It was Tommy Guns' dream to get on a record with Conejo.
Why would you put that together?
And because it was so hard. Yep, I straight put that together.
Wait.
Yep.
You're the one to blame for that?
Yep, and wait till you hear the song.
Where's the butter?
Wait till you hear the song. Wait till you hear the song.
Damn, son.
Wait till you hear the song. Wait till you hear the song.
Listen, I love Conejo. I grew up on Conejo. I love Conejo. But that mixture's just...
Oh, no, with Demon on the record? No, wait till you hear the song.
Oh, you put Demon on there too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe...
Is it an original beat?
It's an original beat.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I don't have...
Okay, because I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm trying to flip some old school West Coast track.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's not just... anybody from the guys you're messing with, it's everybody been putting out like the old school songs, and I'm just
with the quick flips,
I'm not feeling it
because they're not being original.
Huh? Blame King Little G.
I'm not feeling it.
That's
just me.
Right, exactly. That's just you.
That's me. My opinion. I think
the streets are feeling that right now.
I think some songs don't need to just be.
Well, Drummer Boy knows how to do it.
Done.
Drummer Boy, he does it right.
But that's what brings in the old school people to listen.
Right,
young kid.
right. 100%. Yes. Yes.
You might not like, say Tommy Guns, right? But then you hear them on a West Coast beat that you love.
That's true.
And now it makes you want to listen.
If it sounds good.
Let me see what it sounds like.
It's gotta sound good.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like people, man, everybody's doing the same Back to the Hotel remake.
But the funny thing,
there's like 10 people though. It's like it's too much, bro. Like leave that song alone.
Well, the funny thing, I trip off of them doing that.
I'm never gonna listen to that version. I'm always listening to the original one.
But the new kid will listen to the new version.
Well, I know, but like he said, there's certain makes it more accessible. Like it makes it more. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is cool when they're flipping it over one of our old tracks. Yeah. But what I love is I'll go in with some of them and we'll be in the studio and I'll play shit that they haven't heard and like they'll be mind blown. Like my favorite is pulling like Vertical Joyride out of the loop and they're like, what is this? And they go crazy because they have such a limited amount of music they were exposed to from that era. They don't truly know our OG West Coast roots.
Or I'll give you one. The other day I was in the car with my nephew and something came on. It was a newer song. And they're like, oh, that one's tight. I go, no, I'm going to play you the original.
Yeah.
And then they were like, the original? That is the original. I go, no, it's not. I played the original, and they just didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Vanilla Ice came from Queen.
Yeah, that's been since day one. Especially hip hop. Especially hip hop. Can you imagine what they were saying about us when, in the beginning of hip hop, like the elders are like, whoa, what did they do to this? What did they do?
I don't know. I just feel like certain artists repeating itself. If you're gonna do a corrupt beat or a Tupac beat, it's like fuck. You gotta really come with it because those were savages. You know what I'm saying? Like,
why can't they just make their own beat?
Those are savages.
And they do, but we also redid beats. There's always been sampling. Come on.
Give me a memorable Chicano rap story that we probably don't know about.
Ooh.
Something that I can clip.
Something crazy.
I gave away one of my best crazy stories, which was turned into something dope. To hear that Shadow didn't drink anymore after that shit made my heart warm.
Shadow's coming again, huh?
Yeah, we got him coming.
Good.
He's came here before.
He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite lyricists. He's so hard. God, you want a good Chicano rap story? I don't know.
You have a Night Owl story?
Oh, rest in peace. I know, my baby Night Owl.
There's his dog.
He wouldn't fly.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
Yeah, so he wouldn't fly. And when Daddy, I'm in Love with a Gangster took off, the program director who was
big,
the head, huge, huge in Texas. Big. My program director, who named J.D. Gonzalez, who I loved and adored, he was our first affiliate for the radio show to get it out of Los Angeles. You know, I went in with this big dream and sat with him and was like, hey, I want to do this radio show. I took my vacation at Power, and I had my Navigator wrapped, and it had Mr. Shadow on it, Spanish Fly on it. You remember when we were wrapping the vehicles back then? And I drove it to San Antonio and sat with this guy and said, hey, imagine the kids on Military bumping with, you know, the kids on out in LA are bumping, and everybody, you know, calling in, and the artists from Texas and the artists from Cali being played together. And he said, okay, great. When are you going to launch the radio show? Like, when are you ready for it? Like, are you cool? He said, no, he said, cool, you get it to me. Let's go. Let's try it. And we didn't know how to syndicate a radio show. And, you know, that's how the syndication started, was just kids with a dream. So then we went on to, my program director at Power needed a programmer for Hot 97. And he asked if I knew anybody good that could program Hot 97. And I said, J.D. Gonzalez. So J.D. Gonzalez took the offer from Hot 97 and ended up getting the job as president of programming for Univision. So he ended up running all those Univision stations and being able to help me get on all of those Univision stations through Texas. And so that was a big part of the movement of the show. But anyways, he was the one who really broke the Night Owl, Daddy, I'm in Love with a Gangster out of the show. And so he wanted Night Owl to come do the radio show. So we all had to hop in the car and drive there with Night Owl. And Night Owl was about his food. Like, he was super picky.
That's what his wife said.
Super picky when it came to food. And it was like, well, you couldn't just stop anywhere on the road. Like, it would take a minute. And he'd throw down. That car was, we wouldn't,
Rest in peace, Night Owl. That's what his wife said. Yeah. His wife said that he's really about his food.
Oh.
You know, she was up here.
Oh, yeah. I love Night Owl.
One more question. You said Texas and Cali. Mm-hmm. Biggest one in Texas at that time was SPM. Mm-hmm. Did you play his records?
Yes. And SPM is a great storyteller.
You like his music and stuff like that?
SPM is a great storyteller, and what he did in his career and the deals he definitely showed major labels that Mexicans could move music.
He was big, right?
He was huge. He had a huge deal, one of the biggest deals originally with Universal, and he was another one of those ones that it's like he created his own lane, his own avenue, no matter what anybody was doing, and you had to respect it at that time. You know what he built.
Well, believe it or not, he's still pretty big.
Yeah,
you know, his numbers are humongous.
No, I know.
On Spotify, even him being in prison.
Yeah,
you know?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's because his storytelling.
Yeah,
he's a great storyteller.
Did you ever meet him in person?
He got arrested right before I was going to meet him.
Oh.
So, but yeah, we definitely had been talking originally.
The collab we never knew we needed.
Well, he had to be a great storyteller.
Yeah, he was, and he put a lot of people on the map too. What he was doing, Baby Bash. Baby Bishi at the time. Love My Chicken Greasy. One of the first times I knew how much I love Bish was off of a record called Quarterback. And Quarterback, smoke me a quarter sack.
That was off the Savage Dreams.
I don't know. You got to Google it. Yeah, you're better than I am with that. So. You're better than I am with the info. But yeah, and he had Low G, and he had Juan. He was killing it.
Yeah.
With that whole movement out there.
Yeah, for sure. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Anything else you got?
No. You said we talked about what you got upcoming, and what's your end goal though? Where do you see yourself in like 5 years? Ooh, good one.
I love to make films.
Yeah,
so making films.
What kind of films?
One of my Chicano films. Chicano films.
Because he was saying because you come out of the valley, so you know what kind of films come out of there.
That's a little more Chatsworth. That's over about 5 miles.
It's not happening. Area,
so I know the streets. Come on, all angles of it.
Porn is like spread out now.
It's not just in Chatsworth anymore.
Yeah, it's
how did you know?
Moses knows the grove.
Son, where'd you find this?
He's a connoisseur.
I love your voice. That's our OG legendary voice on the radio.
What's he say?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
He's the OG station voice of all the radio stations back in the day.
That was tight.
Yeah, he was dope.
Yeah, so that's cool doing films, huh? That's where you see yourself.
Doing films, and then
it's probably so much easier now, then, right?
Yeah,
to get it out.
Yeah,
for yourself
I loved and telling stories, just figuring out how to tell the stories that matter, and just being corny as shit, Blue Angel, and bringing love into the world, no matter how hard we try to hate.
I love it.
You know, bringing hugs and Hershey kisses to the world.
Blue Angel's better than some of the names they call me on the internet.
There you go.
I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
You know, girl.
Oh, that is funny.
I hear the worst. You don't want to know what words I hear. You know. It's bad for me.
No, and I appreciate you guys having me and being so easy on me. Yeah. Just don't clip me crazy.
No, we
just don't vulture me. Don't vulture me crazy.
No,
this one's already
a clip. So I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, this one's already grinning. This one's already grinning like he's gonna clip it all.
I don't know how to even clip or nothing. I just.
No, this one. This one. Look at him grinning over here.
Leave that a negative on.
Where can everybody find you?
You can find me in the streets. I'm for the streets.
Damn. Clip that one.
There you go. That's your clip.
That's right.
I've been most active on Instagram because it's just where I feel comfortable.
Khoolaid?
Yeah, Khoolaid.
Okay, cool. That way they know.
Yeah, and just I'm here on your favorite local podcast. I'm Los Angeles. Oh yeah, no, thank you.
There you
No
go.
Lames. We do our Future Fools every month, which I love doing I love my G Money and my High Tone. Talk about like rapper who can rap his ass off that should be further and that needs to be further. High Tone is hard.
You give me
when did you start the Future Fools?
I started Future Fools after I did No Lames. We had so much fun together.
You know how long ago?
3 months ago.
Setting trends already.
Yeah.
Somebody else started doing something like that, so I'm glad you did it first.
I'm noticing that a little bit. Like when I'll put something out or be a little, because I love to make creative content, and I put something out and then it's like you get a little, and you'll love this because I'm hating a little bit, but you get in your feelings because you see somebody's like, I'm like, okay, I see you, fool. I see you biting. I see what you're okay, but if you got to bite over at a 48-year-old woman's content, you go ahead, little homie.
Be careful. There's other creators within our space that they do that. Don't even say your ideas out loud, because then they'll be doing it the next day.
Even in music.
That's crazy. Then, and I just, and I notice with just whoever you get that you put on, but isn't that the great part of it? That like you can put somebody on, then everybody else puts them on, and you get to watch that.
Yeah, but you never get the credit though.
But at the end of the day,
that's our curse.
We got to get
our people. You know how much stuff we've done and put so many things on, and everybody always skips past us, and it's like, where's the reason behind that? But it's just
stolen.
What do you say? We feed the streets.
Well, but is it stolen or you created? I mean, that's what you're doing as a creator. So it's like just figuring out how the fact that you guys know that you're feeding a lot of it first.
But you want the credit, because nowadays that's what it's about. That's why you do it. You do it for the shit. Yeah, you do, because that brings in the money. Now people are going to go look you up and see what you're doing, see where it came from.
Yeah.
But when they leave you out of it, it's like, well, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we got a lot of work to do, and I'm just glad that I got new homies and you guys. You guys know. Thank you.
Give me some future fools. I'm gonna give you some future fools. I got my eyes to the talent too.
Okay, cool.
I'm out there too.
We'll send it out.
Ones that aren't on camera and in the mix, like being crazy, and
he's just gonna throw you his
what
friends.
I love about G Money with that one, G Money's,
a lot of them, bro, that are doing it.
G Money's request for me on that one, which I love with that one, is that he doesn't only want artists I believe in, but he wants somebody with a story that can make a difference. So I love that, and I love sitting the youngsters with the OGs down with the story, and I know whether you know that.
But nobody wants to hear those stories, though.
They do. They do.
Do it in comedy.
They do.
Nobody
you
wants
gotta
to
make it funny.
Let me tell you, if you do a podcast with an up-and-coming artist and he tells you a great story, nobody's going to watch it unless he shot somebody or went to jail.
Not necessarily.
Facts.
Like I'm seeing it. I'm watching it in the reels. I'm watching it go up in the.
Oh, it might go up in the reels, but as far as the actual clip itself.
No, I'm watching it in the clips. Like I'm watching like how much certain stories that are put on and certain things that people can relate to, you know, that they're holding on to it.
It could be concrete. Something that you start that's new, fresh breath of air, because a lot of people just want to see people crash out.
Right.
And unfortunately,
I don't, and I'll just continue creating and seeding. with seeding, I'm just going to continue.
I think it's dope. Yeah. I think it's dope. But from seeing how the internet works, they don't give a fuck about the positive stuff at all.
I don't know. But there is room for it. It's just unfortunately it's the algorithm of your timeline.
I think there is room for that, but I think the way you.
Yes,
the way you do the setup has to be intriguing. Like if the story is like mellow and it's about a dude who did engineering, for me I would have to have like the model come out and serve the champ. Like it has to be appealing. I'm not saying that exact thing, but you get what I'm saying. Like the setup has to be more appealing.
Well, to me, it's the stories that matter. It's like to me, it's the kids who went through like family of addiction and lost a parent, and for other kids, other people know. But it's not. It's a negative turned into a positive. Okay, that's what I'm about. A negative turned into a positive. So maybe that's why it works. The negative turned into the positive.
Yeah,
but it depends on what you're clipping. Yeah, other people are clipping certain things that it's like, but I know what I'm clipping.
Yeah.
And I'll continue to clip that, and I'll continue to create that culture. I'm going to continue to pound that culture because I know there's an audience that wants something different. That's looking for hope. And
laughter.
That is true. I mean, like I said, I got my ideas. I'm gonna keep them to myself.
It's okay. It's Khoolaid, homie.
No, we're gonna do them together. I'm not a jacker. Anything I like of yours that I feel intrigued by, we would do together. Man. You can ask my homies.
I might give you a little teaser, but that's about it.
I've got a track record. All the homies will tell you.
I got some good ideas. I'm gonna keep them right here, like Miklo said.
We'll build.
The brain box.
No, we'll build. They don't do nothing right there. They do something when we create as a community.
That's right. Okay, shit, I'm cool with that. Well, it was great. You know what? It was great having you on here.
Thank finally. You guys.
Yes, it was.
For bringing you on, and you came out here and
you survived.
Killed it.
I survived TheHaterWorld.
We took it. You know,
we don't do that though. People, we just get a bad rap for us being a bad podcast. But
that's what Demiza said.
Yeah, we get a bad rap.
Demiza said you guys are all great guys.
Yeah, we're not like that.
Super
sometimes we have our opinions and we do what we do, but like I told a youngster not too long, I said we wouldn't fucking be here.
We gotta keep it spicy.
Taking our time out of our day, though. At the end of the day, taking our time out of our day to try to build up the young community. If we were really haters, we'd be like, "Fuck you guys. We're not gonna have nobody on. We're just gonna do who we want on.
Right.
We're gonna bring on models and but we don't do that.
We bring the OGs. We like to give the OGs a voice because people forgot about the OGs.
Yeah.
So that's facts. We brought almost every OG in the game up here, and we brought almost every new young kid up here as well.
Yeah.
You guys are killing it.
Taking our time out of our day, and we busy.
Yeah.
I'm be real.
Everybody.
We support our families, and like I said, I tell artists that he says, "Hey, how come you haven't got me on? Like I'm popping up, man."
We got bullied for an interview last week. How do you feel about that?
I know.
They surrounded him, and he called me.
Nobody surrounded him. Don't listen to Blue. Don't listen to Blue. Don't listen to Blue.
Look, I've been
the spice. That's the spice.
No, I've been there. Okay, I've been there. So I've been there. So it's just that. Yeah.
I go lock it in if it's gonna save your life.
Yeah. Right.
Don't shake my head.
You never said that. This guy. No, but that's the hype. But I'm saying, like, if we weren't trying to help anybody, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Setting up, wasting time. Like, it's not a waste of time. It's just, but
and I wouldn't have drove 3 hours, guys, because I got to drive an hour and a half back, hour and a half here. But I am gonna get some in and out for the kids on the way home and be mom of the year. Mom of the year with the midnight in and out run.
But you get it though. A little bit of spice and hype. That's all entertainment, baby. Yeah. What the hell you in the game for?
Well, and I just came here to bring a little bit of a different energy, and I thought that was important. So,
plus your story needed to be told. It's out there in pieces, but at least the questions that people wanted to know.
Yeah, thank you for coming through.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you for sliding through, making it happen.
Now we get to drive back to the Valle. Yeah, let's go.
I'm out here waiting for now.
Trying to act like a Valley boy.
Any last words?
Nah, man. Thanks for coming. That's it, man. Salute,
Moses.
Thank you for coming. Hope you keep spreading some good positive vibes out there.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
All love, baby.
No,
it's all love. Khoolaid.
My man.
And with that being said, salute to everybody in the building. Like the video, share the video, and we out of here.
Let's go.
You gotta be